Swole Normuff.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, test, testing, testing, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1197 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. And without further ado, we have a special guest today, and it is... Dun, 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 dun. She looks normal. Normal person. What's going on, Michelle? I need to turn on your mic right now. All right, now you're on the screen. You're live. I was just talking to you. I'm like, oh, you can't hear me, so you don't know what I'm saying.
No, yeah. I was wondering what was going on.
What's going on? Welcome back to RAM Overload, it says. Yeah, this stuff is crazy.
You're still frozen.
Yeah? Maybe I can...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're not frozen for me. Let me see if I can cut the video for you. Is that better?
No, it's fine. I mean, at least the audio is fine, so I can at least hear.
I'm still frozen.
A little bit.
Well, that's not cool. I mean, I'm not frozen for them, which is good.
Okay.
Today's topic. So the other day you made was it yesterday, the day before? The other day you made a video with Johnny, and so, which was awesome, by the way. It was awesome. I loved it. When he came out as Spider-Man, he's the perfect Peter Parker. He's
so nice.
The perfect Peter Parker. So he's like,
sweet.
Hey everyone, just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I know.
It was great. It was so fucking awesome. It was so good. So good.
Only like 20 minutes away from me.
Oh, that's right. He's in San Diego, so that's the ultimate. It's time for Alan and myself to move. I think he's planning on moving down to Florida too, which would be insane.
Is he?
So we'll have coast to coast going. Yeah, we have.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we have him. I think he was planning on like just getting out of the cold once and for all, and then so we're gonna do that car rage we're talking about, kicking around a little bit. So I know everyone's eager.
I can't wait to see that one.
Everyone's eager for that. I'm not sure if the car can handle it, but we'll see. So
probably can't.
So this movie, he's actually, and we were talking about this before the podcast, the director, I don't know if he announced it, but I think he was planning on going live today. So for anyone that's watching, I would say unless he announced it, just keep an eye on his Instagram, keep an eye on his YouTube. I don't know if he's planning on going loud or live, or if he's planning on doing it on his Instagram page. But the creator of Fat Topia has been in communication with Alan, yourself, myself, and obviously for those of you that have watched the movie. I don't know if anyone in the comments are watching or have watched the documentary. Yeah, I apologize for the choppiness. I think a bunch of people are getting choppy video, but maybe it'll catch up. Sometimes it catches up. So what are your thoughts on what you've seen or what you've heard? I know it's like a lot of time to sit down and watch a whole movie, and we both picked apart at clips or seen highlights and stuff like that. What's your feedback, or what do you see in your audience and in the comments so far about it?
Yeah, well, like I told John, I didn't get to watch it yet, but I've seen little clips that was shared, and then he kind of told me about it pretty much. So the fat acceptance individuals, and then people like us, and they try to understand both sides. And I heard, at least from my subscribers and John, saying that it was a very respectful video, but not according to that page, the boycott Fat Topia, as of yesterday.
that one fucking page, but that page only has what, 50 subscribers though?
It had 35 yesterday, and then after our video, it grew to 22.
Why are you paying attention to that? Why do you pay attention to that page? Leave it alone. I guess it's because like all of a sudden when a page tags you and you see like your...
Well, yeah, that's what we were all talking about. I was like, what happened? Because we didn't say, I don't think my lawyers. And I was like, okay, well, send them.
I lose my shit if your video was taken down, because I just saw it on your page because I was putting your channel in the post description. Oh God. If that got taken down, have you
surprised if that got taken down.
Have you ever had a video get taken down? Have you ever had something like that happen? I know Alan's had like...
No,
like 5 seconds.
Oh, I think I saw that.
And it was it was great for a long
I
time.
don't remember what it was. You were talking about fat people.
Yeah, but I was pretty much saying take responsibility and make a change and treat your body better. And it was a good message, and people got the good message. But Facebook let me promote it for like a year, and then they started just banning it. So then all of a sudden I guess they got savvy to it, and they stopped wanting to hurt people's feelings because it was too delicate, and the truth hurts literally. So the video was accurate. I guess any good documentary would, if it showed.
What I was getting from the comments that I was reading for people who were
I guess they didn't like it when we actually threw out some truth. I mean, unless you have like a live.
Well, I was talking.
Go ahead.
I was talking to the person that made the post for the boycott Fat Topia, and we were going back and forth. I would ask her questions like, okay, well, where are your facts? And I would give her some facts, and then she would just discredit me. And then she said, well, I bet you've never heard of Haze. And I was kind of confused what Haze was. And then it was the health at every size. And that's when I kind of just dipped out.
Yeah, if you're it anymore, you put in the tags and it gets demonetized. I've stopped even worrying about whether or not, we were talking about that yesterday. I stopped worrying about any monetization a long time ago. I mean, whenever I post a driving while gaining, it's not going to get monetized. But
coming out for me.
How's that?
For some reason that your audio is going out a little bit.
I'm getting crazy bandwidth swings right now for some reason. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine now.
All right. Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit. It's got to be just like the connection. I don't know. Skype sometimes gets a little bit iffy, but it's possible. I'm trying to minimize what things are running in the background. Unwatchable. It keeps stopping. Well, we're across the world, so we'll do the best that we can. We could try just reconnecting if you're.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we might as well just. I mean, we'll stop it and then reconnect it. I'm totally fine with just doing a double, and then we'll. All right, so everyone that's watching or listening, just stay tuned. We're gonna try just to maybe. I'm just gonna minimize whatever processes are running, and then we're just gonna reconnect it and see what happens. I wonder if I could stay live and just reconnect with you on Skype. See if maybe that.
Yeah, let me see. I'll unconnect.
Bye. So let me see how am I looking? I feel like I'm fine right now. I look smooth. It's so Skype fucking sucks, man. You see that? You see, like, look, it's fine now. It's only Skype. Skype is a monster when it comes to eating up shit. I'm just frustrated. So frustrating. Look at this. Look at this. How am I looking now? I'm good now. Look at this. I'm smooth. Why? Come on, Skype. Now I got like the beach ball going. Come on, Mac. All right, let me see here. See if I can call Michelle, but now like Skype isn't even like working. Now it's like Adobe Creative Cloud. Adobe Creative Cloud wants to shut down. I'm like, I don't care about Photoshop right now, for real. Let me quit Skype. Skype quit. Skype won't quit. That's super cool. It's not like I want to quit an application just because I want to. Hey, this is a casual stream. Fuck it, man. I don't give a shit. It's my channel. It's my podcast, beaches. We'll hang out if I want to. Let's get this Chiquita back on here. Force quit it. Thank you. I appreciate that. So helpful. I am force quitting. I'm just not getting responses. Hold on a second. I wonder if it's because. Let me see if I could change my file format. Maybe if I change my frame rate on my camera. Maybe if I go a little bit wider. Maybe if I was in 4K. I was in 4K for a second. Because I'm fucking cool like that. I don't know. I just tweaked a couple things. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
All right, you're
You're
back.
moving a lot better this time.
So we tweaked a couple things, and hopefully this plays.
Yeah, it looks a lot better this time. Like you're moving. Last time you were frozen the whole time I was talking to you. Yeah, you're moving great.
There we go. What's up? I changed a setting on my camera, and I closed out some apps. So how are we looking right now?
Yeah, way better.
Do we
It's a
save
lot
it?
easier.
All right, so let's start over. Welcome, everyone, to episode 1197 of the Daily Mother Swole. I'm here with Michelle McDaniel, blah, 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 and we're back. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so because everyone was like, it's the fat acceptance movement sabotaging the stream. It could be. Maybe it's like mass reporting. Okay, so now we're back. We're good. We're safe. Oh, that was weird. Okay. So let's start from scratch. Fat Topia. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a documentary. I believe it's available on Amazon Prime. I believe you have to pay for it. So take that with a grain.
If you go through the link of the producers on his Instagram, I think it's free.
Or if you have Prime, I guess it's free. Someone said that.
Yeah.
Before. Okay, so Fat Topia, fat acceptance movement, healthy at every size. People have been trolling your accounts and our accounts. The Swole Vengers are under attack.
They didn't get you though, huh? Because you didn't make a video.
Thanos is coming from the other world. Thanos, and he's pretty obese. He's yoked. He's got body image issues, right? He's got a whole ego thing going on there. He's like, he's huge. He's ripped. He's got a little bigorexia going on. We should take Marvel characters and make shirts. Of course, Disney would be all over that copyright.
Yeah,
but
they would.
To use like little slogans and stuff with like different things like fat acceptance and body positive.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, we could probably get away with it. Like if you're selling T-shirts on the street.
Yeah.
So okay, people were getting pissed off. There's one page that little tiny page that's literally hardcore trolling you, John, and Alan. Mm-hmm. And you were saying, I think before we reconnected, that the page was not mentioning me because I haven't made a video about Fat Topia yet. I'm waiting for that shit. I'm waiting.
Also, that means you're gonna do it.
I'm waiting for that trend to hit that crescendo. I'm waiting for the peak. You guys all caught the wave at the beginning. I'm going right for the. I'm gonna be helicopter dropped right on top of Everest. I'm just gonna be right there at the top, just Dragon Ball Z. I'm gonna be what? I'm gonna be like Super Saiyan 3. I'm just gonna be fucking just glowing, just for like the.
Look at you using these anime terms.
I should do that for like an entire episode, just glowing on fire for like 5 minutes. The excessively long Super Saiyan scenes. But I loved your video, and I think where it was getting cut off, you with John. I know because obviously you were together with the video, but just to summarize, what are his thoughts on it? And do they align with yours? I think all of our ideas are pretty congruent.
Aligned together. Yeah, he said he really enjoyed the film. He watched it, I think, maybe not right when it came out. I think it's been out for a while, but maybe when it started to catch wind and the producer emailed him and whatnot. So he liked it. I asked him, how would he feel watching it if he was still 300 something pounds? And he said that he doesn't know if it would make him want to lose weight, but it would give him some insight on his life choices.
So, because you had some extra weight, but you weren't like
you
weren't like him.
Morbidly obese.
Yeah.
I mean, I am 5'2", hobbit, and I went up to like 178, 180. So that's pretty big for a short person.
For sure.
And I was on the way, like I said in that video, if I go back to Washington, first of all, it's a cold state, so everybody is fully clothed. They don't really know what their body looks like. And then get-togethers, family dinners every single night. My aunts were lined up, and they're like 300 short women, 300 plus pounds. And my grandma makes multiple cakes, not one, multiple, and each of them had a slice of each, and just literally spoon feeding it into their mouth. So that's kind of what I grew up with. Like I never had a limit to food. When I used to nanny, people would always be like, okay, you have to give them this amount, they get this small amount of dessert. Like I could have eaten a whole cake if I wanted to at 10.
Yeah. Well, kids are always given food. I think it comes down to, all right, let's talk about the Fat Topia thing, but in like the context of like real fucking life, not just like this bubble, because
not the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, every documentary is going to be biased to some extent because it's through the eyes of the director. And when you have the power to edit, and as well as when when you're editing a video, you can edit it in so many different ways. You can add sarcasm, you can add overlays, you can just, add some music to the background and bias the whole thing. Same thing with all these like, vegan or carnivore documentaries. Who do you think is, I guess, most responsible? Because right now we are in this machine. We're in this like circular thing with food, with medication, with hospitals. And we have a lot of people like yourself, myself. Alan is the only one that really brings in like, oh, here's some data, but he brings it in loosely as more like, look, it's like $1 trillion. We're going to die. I say the same thing. Like, we're not in here with like stats and charts. I don't think you need stats and charts when you walk down the street and you see. So like,
like I always said, like people, like I don't need a chart telling me that obesity is bad.
Yeah.
I think anybody with common sense knows that obesity is bad. Eating too little of food is bad. We don't need to, I constantly used to put up like, data and whatnot just to prove, but like, how much do I need to put up? We all know by now that it's bad. I feel like fat acceptance, people know that it's bad. They just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, the way they talk sometimes, it's hard to really, I guess.
Think that they know.
I don't know if they know. I don't know. You think they know.
I think people like Tess Holiday, Sonali, those type of people, I think they do know.
How can you not? How can you know? How can you, denial and justification and rationalization is super strong. When
I was doing bodybuilding competitions, I knew that I wasn't healthy, but I didn't want to admit it. But
right.
I knew.
Denial is strong. Yeah. Think about, if we go to an extreme example, think about, let's say, Nazi Europe, right? All the Nazis, now they believed what they believed, but you have to imagine how many that were in there were just like a part of the Nazi just to survive. Like, what are you going to do? Go against like the whole machine? You're going to be executed like right away. So,
right.
It's one of those things like, if you were in the situation, what would you do? Survival. You like to think that you're going to be a hero and be like saving the world, but you're probably going to be like, oh shit, don't die, don't kill me. And, and then you just kind of become part of it and just go along with it. So I know a lot of people get wrapped up in this thing, and I know that's an extreme example, but you have to use extremes to understand like the nuances of like this small movement. If you kind of go into this group, you're protected, right? You're in their little bubble, and they will defend you. They're gonna be like, "Mar, mar, 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 get away, Michelle, get away, get away,
the
Papa."
Moment that if you're in the group, the moment you're in it, and then you try to break out of it, they,
they cut you off, they amputate you. Yeah. And that's one of the issues that we've always seen with these groups, is that if you're not radical enough and you're not extreme enough and you're not as hardcore and just 100% fat acceptance, but you're not all in, you're fucking out. And that was one of the issues with Madeline with her shit, is that she had a huge, an app and a lot of people, a lot of followers, and all of a sudden she flipped the script, and then everyone that was already a part, that's what I thought was really, I don't know about.
It was a weird flip.
What the fuck? It's still going.
I don't know why she chose that.
It's still going on, and it's worse. I keep getting screenshots. I'm like, I just don't know if it's ready for another video or if I need to, but it's more of the same. I'll probably revisit it like Brittany Dawn and just kind of like you did. And I have another video.
I love checking in on Brittany Dawn.
I have another video coming up about like stuff that you've already talked about, but it's a driving while gaining. So it's like a nice little spin on it. A little bit more aggressive than normal.
A little seasoning just dashed over it.
Yeah. Nice play on words there. So it's weird. It's kind of sad because if you're part of a community, let's say all of your members, well, let's use this as and this is even more extreme, but let's say all your people, all of a sudden on your channel, all of a sudden you started promoting fat acceptance, and you started like seriously, like you kind of flipped.
It's weird.
It'd be really weird, and you would ostracize all your audience, and you get a lot of people just started blocking people if they said, I don't agree with this, like, you should change your channel, blah, blah, bye. And then you just like block and remove from the group. Because her Facebook group is getting
been with her for years.
Skinned. Yeah, they're getting they're getting cut out. They're getting completely cut out. And if you don't follow these rules, it's like you go to a gym and all of a sudden the rules are, no, you must be this tall, you must be this weight, you must wear this clothing. Like, what the fuck? I've been going here for 10 years. And that'd be really...
Yeah, it's odd. It was a really odd switch for her. I didn't even really... I don't follow a lot of fitness people, but it was just weird.
Yeah, I didn't even know who... I forget when I saw, someone sent me that, when I made the first video about the camel toe, someone sent me that.
Yeah, I think that's how I started noticing her is the camel toe thing I saw it all over Instagram.
That was before, as far as I'm aware, that was before her switch. And I saw that, I got sent in the DM and I saw how she was like, she took it down, she posted it again and then said, well, don't look at it. It's like, look, don't you dare do like, and I made that video.
Tell me not to look at something that's right there on Instagram. I'm going to look at it.
And repost it and talk about how we don't look at it. It's like, and it was so obvious. So I made that video and then it started transitioning. That video has gotten tons of views kicked up from all this stuff, but then she just keeps on going deeper. But the problem is now it's even more extreme. There's one screenshot that I could bring up we could talk about, but there's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to go. Like where do you go if you're, let's say you're, was it Sana Lee? If you are Tess, we can talk about Tess a little bit because that is a weird little shift. I think she's kind of wrapped up in, I think she's stuck.
From like the fat acceptance movement to like now fitness for some reason when she overly preached that she didn't need to work out. And I don't know if she said, but like before and after pictures are fat phobic and like working out is something you don't need to, that a little agenda that she has.
Right.
But the Sana Lee girl, I just wanted to make a little note about, she made a post, which I found very ironic, that she made a post about how there's health at every size. And it was this weird like yoga thing where she was stretching and she's talking about health, right? But in her folds, when you're bigger, you have to clean yourself. You have to clean in your folds.
It's hard because it'll smell and it'll like mold.
See in her folds, like yeast and different stuff in her folds. So it's just funny that she's talking about how you can be healthy and yet she can't even clean herself for her video.
Ugh.
I'll send it to you so you can see it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, send me the moldy fucking cheese. Oh my God. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm always saying in my videos. I'm like, okay, it's diabetes type 2. I got to make sure I say type 2 because everyone's like, well, you can't say just diabetes because people are like, look, you have to have a minimum level of intelligence and awareness to understand. When I say diabetes, I don't think anyone's thinking about a 3-year-old that's born with an, your body doesn't produce insulin. Come on. Like, I mean, some people will, but whatever. So that, heart disease, but I also talk about immobility. We don't talk about that enough. We talk about the disease and it's not healthy. But if you're not mobile, let's say everything checks out with your blood work, you're 500 pounds. You're not healthy if you can't move. You can't walk around comfortably at 500.
To be moving with that much weight.
Unless you're like shredded muscle, which is impossible so far.
Well, I mean, it's the same. I was listening to somebody, one of my high school friends, now gone bodybuilder, all into this stage stuff, and he was saying, you want to be I was so fucking ripped and so down with bodybuilding that when I stepped on stage, my fucking bones hurt. Like that's not good either. Just because you're ripped, like that sounds like you're a very unhealthy person.
You put on so much mass, your bones hurt.
Like what? Why are you bragging about that?
That's a good look. I used to want to walk down the street and crack the sidewalk. I used to joke when I used to train because I've been natural, and so I'm training, hard. I there's going to be a limit, but I always use that as inspiration. And I always thought when I was in the gym, I want to lift. I want to be so big that babies like cry or hide behind their mothers when I walk by.
What?
Like the big scream man. So I walk by, but kids always laugh and smile at me. They're always like,
I feel like the more muscular I got, the more like people just wanted to talk to me.
I get kids in shopping carts, like the mother's pushing the bag and the kids like breaking neck, like trying to look like
staring.
And I make faces
or
and stuff.
Girl, like I've had a lot of little girls say that I look like a superhero. They're super excited to like talk to me. I'm like, okay, well at least it motivates you to be healthy or strong, I guess.
Well, that works. That works for you pretty well, especially if you're walking around in cosplay. People lose their shit. So I found for anyone that's interested, I found this image, and this is for you too, Michelle. This is like from the Work It app update.
Okay.
So I'll actually hold this up. Oh, wait, there we go. So let's see, an updated version. This is just something, this is how far it's going. So we were talking about before how like once you go deep, you can't go back. That's what she said. The biggest change that you'll see, and this is the middle paragraph, that you'll see is the names of the workout programs have been removed. These program names had diet culture language in them, and we aren't about that DC life anymore. So we've combined the 3 programs into one program, which takes you from week 1 to week 36, blah, blah, blah. So she's changing the names and all the different, because it's not diet culture, for whatever the fuck it means. I don't know what that...
So it's just like, didn't we talk about that the clothing company that changes the sizes because they don't like those words that hurt, right? Is it the same thing?
I think that was the one where it was like Infinifat. That was that one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about that when we did the quadcast. I think we covered
I feel like I'd be more offended if I was fat and someone called me Infinifat.
just like 6X. Just be unlimited fat. Like you know what? You're beautiful just the way you are. I don't have to talk like that, but it's like you are not fat.
Yes, you do.
You're Infinifat. You're just Infinifat.
So
you're just
offended. Like, what do
you're
you
just fat
mean?
to infinity. I picture unicorns and a really flamboyant gay man saying that. I don't know why, but it's like infinity, like dancing on a rainbow, like one of those Ron Burgundy like acid trips where he's like riding a unicorn from Anchorman.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like you're Infinifat.
Just put sparkles over it and it makes it sound.
Yeah, I think the only person besides him that could pull off is like James Corden or something. Like he could do it.
Yeah.
He could do it. That's questionable.
But yeah, that's interesting that she is now changing her like language because it was too diet culture-esque.
That's what everyone's doing. So what's really what's really offending about fat acceptance? What's really offending about Fat Topia? What's really offending about body positivity? And you and I are the same on this. You don't hate fat people. You don't hate people that are overweight. You want to help them. You want to encourage them to avoid that kind of like social systemic bullshit so they can actually make a change because you know it's possible. I was over what weight I should be. I was just too bulked. I had too much body fat, but I cut it back down. What's the difference between someone like me or you? We didn't lose 200 pounds, but if you lose 20 pounds or 25, it's the same.
I always get discredited.
It's the same process.
I haven't been like super, morbidly obese or anything. And they always discredit me. So it's kind of frustrating with that because no matter what you do, if you're losing weight, it's still going to be hard. I mean, I came from a lifetime of just eating straight shit, just complete crap all the time. So yeah, they discredit me a lot.
But what's the difference between losing, I know if you're lifting weights and you kind of already have certain things in place, but if you're losing 20 pounds or you're losing 30 pounds, not much different. Like you're still losing weight. You're still losing weight. You still have to be in a caloric deficit. You still have to be exercising. You still have to be doing all that stuff. But the language is easy to battle. It's easy to battle because you make up new words, healthy at every size. That didn't exist 2 years ago, or it did. No one knew about it. Then you have body positivity, which was jacked from people that have burns and actual fucking trauma. And I'm surprised a lot more of those people don't speak up. Maybe they do in that circle.
I wish they did.
But I'm always trying to.
I have a couple of friends who compete, and they didn't know about the fat acceptance movement until like my videos, but they knew about the body acceptance movement because it was for them, and they were like, "Wait, what? Why are like obese people now taking this?"
Yeah, if you're handicapped,
I understand. When I was bigger, like you don't feel that great about yourself when you're not so comfortable in your body. So I do understand their point of everybody wants to feel pretty and whatnot, but you can't, first of all, force people to think that you're attractive. It's very subjective. And second, you can't tell people that that obesity is healthy when we all know it takes a quick Google search to look at the statistics of what obesity can do.
It shows up like at the top. Like it's not even Google doesn't even give you links. They're like, well, here's the stats, but then we'll give you other links in case you still want to this answer. Here's the answer, but you can still look through this shit if you want to.
I always wonder too, like, because I know like this whole fat acceptance thing is the new thing to do. But I remember in high school when we did like health that semester where we'd have to take health class, we would talk about obesity and what it does. So I'm wondering if they still do that nowadays.
What do you mean? Talk about obesity in?
We would talk about when you take health class, they teach you about sex, they teach you about like bodies and whatnot, and they talk about obesity. So I always wondered if they still talk about like the dangers of obesity. We had that in my high school.
God, I don't even remember what. I think I took a health ed class. I don't even remember what it was. Whatever high school and schools are teaching, it's not what people need to be actually learning. Like really, I feel like, especially now, people should be just doing mostly online. God. We can go off on education. That's such a hot mess. But it kind of leads me into this segment about kids and about learning younger. So I was asking before we reconnected, what do you think is, who do you think is most at fault, or where do you think is actually, because we're doing our part by making videos, and a lot of people don't hear about any of this shit until they see one of our videos. And I think we talked about that either on the last podcast or privately that it's kind of like an online thing. It seems like it's almost an online thing, not a real world. Of course, Tess was on the magazines, but it's weird how we have this kind of fake virtual reality world that overlays our real existence, that in the real world, no one talks about this. No one seems to care. I don't hang in those circles.
No.
But it seems like you go online and, of course, everything from anywhere around the world can be in your face because of what you follow. So you have to be able to separate. I know you're able to separate yourself from that. I am. And we can go back to our normal life and not have to think about this. But a lot of people are living like in this blended world and they don't segment and separate it. Mm-hmm. But where do you think is like the most important thing to focus on to change, I guess, this kind of like language or I guess social acceptance and this kind of whole trend of just, oh, let me get a bunch of people together.
I feel like what we're doing is kind of helpful. I mean, we're not trying to curse these people out. We're not, I guess to them we're trolling them, but I think most of our followers see us as helpful and we're, kindly talking about these topics without completely just thrashing their looks. We're talking more about the health aspect of it. I think that's a good way to start rather than trying to battle people.
Yeah, I think it is. It's definitely what we can do because considering if we went out in public and just talked to a few people, it wouldn't be as effective as you posting a video and getting 100,000 people to watch it. I mean, your subscriber base is growing for a reason. I think that's evidence enough because most people don't see organic growth on social platforms anymore unless you're paying for ads, unless you're doing a lot of collabs and things like that, which we're doing now and, we'll continue to do, I'm sure. It's just this. But even before we all started doing like the podcasting, like we were kind of like, tagging each other and talking. But even before that, you're getting a lot of momentum just by posting these trending topics, which is how you get attention. But it's also overwhelming and still impresses me. And it's flattering how positive the reaction is because these are really sensitive issues. And if you go on anyone's page, really anyone's page that talks about this kind of shit, there's so much more negativity and it's shocking. It's like, well, how do I get a 99% like to dislike ratio when I'm talking about healthy at every size? It almost doesn't make sense. And
well, like you said, I think it's the way that we deliver it. I think it's the way that we talk about the issues and our personalities.
I think it's, the fact, and it's really brilliant the way you do it. And we both kind of have a similar style with, I guess, in terms of like not the misdirection, but the extra flair, because when you have the costumes on, it's like you're not taking yourself too seriously. You're talking.
I think they know that we're kind of goofy and kind of weird.
If I rage and I'm yelling and swearing in the fucking car and I'm putting nuts on people's chins, people are like, all right, this is true. This is true shit. It's also entertaining. Like, how seriously and how offended am I going to get by this lunatic who's obviously just making a fool of himself?
Yeah.
So I think that's a nice offset, but. What's great about our audiences is the real message gets across, but it's very, very, it's a very, very controversial issue. And because of that Fat Topia documentary and that other little mini account that's been blowing and trolling your shit, it just goes to show how like aggressive. And if you're trying to be all accepting, you're Madeline Georgetta, you're boycott Fat Topia or whatever the hell it is, you're Sana Lee, and you are so
accepting.
Like, you're supposed
you cross out everybody else who doesn't think like you.
It's called fat acceptance. You're supposed to accept people, right? You're supposed to be inclusive, and then, ironically, or it would seem, except for you, and except for you, you can't be here. That person was like ban or what were they saying? Spam or block or report?
Report anything they can do to make you shut up.
Yeah, you get enough people to report something, and then it'll get taken down automatically until they review it, and. I mean, that's a very classic gamer thing to like, spam this person's account, swarm, and just blitz it. There's comic reliefs. People in the comments like there's comic relief. You forget that we follow you guys because we are already into fitness. I mean, it's true. It's a good audience that already appreciates health, but I think there's that logic aspect. I mean, it seems like there's layers in society that goes from the government, then you have the lobbyists and the food and the pharmaceuticals. We're not going to be able to do anything about that, like personally. No. It's not like it's too big, but you need a lot more people. So it starts with the ground up, but then you go all the way down to kids. Let's talk about something else that I see pop up, and I don't know all the details on how you're familiar with it. You are. The Weight Watchers thing. I know Alan made a video recently about Weight Watchers. Have you seen the Weight Watchers kids thing?
No, I didn't get to see his video yet, but I know he made a video about Weight Watchers kids. I'm not sure what.
Oh, he made a video about kids?
I think so. I thought he did. I know he talked about it, right?
I don't know. I didn't see. I saw him make a video about Weight Watchers. I don't know if he addressed the kids, but anyway.
Oh, maybe it wasn't.
But there's a kids app now. I forget exactly what it's called. So if any of you in the comments have used it or you're aware of it, you could drop the name. There's some name, and I think it's an app designed by Weight Watchers in order to, I guess, guide people or help parents teach their kids about managing food. So everyone that does, Alan's in the comments right now. He goes, he did not. He is going to.
Oh, okay.
What's up? What's up, dude? Yo, Alan, if you want to hop on, send me a message. I'll patch you in. So we have.
Is it an app made for kids or an app made for the parents to help the kids?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I would assume it's probably like kidified, so like kids could use it because kids have phones. At any rate, it's designed to educate kids on portion control. And people were raging, and I see this from all these. I literally had a video today. These food nutritionists are like a plague. They're just everywhere with this healthy at every size shit, and they're everywhere with the fat acceptance, diet culture, and it's just clone. And I have more videos from more accounts. It's gonna rip the weeds out one at a time. But with this app, it's supposed to be, or the argument against it is that we should not be teaching kids to restrict. We should be encouraging them to grow and to eat. And I agree with that. I don't think you should be teaching kids to like be meticulous and, oh my God, and be paranoid about weight gain. However, the parents aren't fucking doing their job. Fundamentally, the parents, the reason why people are obese, and a big portion of it, is because the parents have no fucking idea. So these apps, maybe if anything, give some power to the kids to be like, oh, well, mommy and daddy have no fucking idea what's going on. At least I have this app, because they're not getting taught properly.
Well, you'd be surprised how many pretty like young kids are on Instagram and message me and talk about how their parents, like they went to their parents and they want to eat healthier and their parents refuse, and they say that they don't have enough money or whatnot. So I'm all for teaching kids to eat healthy and portion out food when they're younger, because then when they get older, they don't have to struggle like I did.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not too. I can see, like, I talked about it a little bit because one of the body positive activists said kids shouldn't count calories. And I'm not really for kids like being so, hung up on macros and calories and whatnot, but I do think they should learn portion control. And I guess some people from the body positive movement were upset about kids counting calories because it sets them up to have, issues in the future with body dysmorphia and whatnot. But I think there's a certain way to do it. We should all learn portion control when we're younger, not when we get older.
I don't think it's a bad. I understand both arguments. I understand that you don't want to get kids like focusing on body image, but I think, just like you said, like the parents have to be teaching their kids properly. The parents weren't taught when they were kids, and we don't really discuss, because civilization and technology is so new. We don't really discuss all the issues that the parents, like, what were like my parents. My father was born in 1950. Let's talk about my parents. And then, I mean, you can pitch in, like, if this sounds accurate. He was going to school, let's say when he was 10 years old, 1960. How different was the world in 1960? A little bit different in 1960.
Yeah.
A little bit different in 1960. I mean, did we still have like different like water fountains in 1960 for black? I mean, like, it was... Come on, this is like the hippie. We weren't even on the moon yet. Like, this is fucking old. And of course, this is now, but I was born in 83. So he was 30 something years old. So he's teaching me or educating me. I mean, this is not like new. There's no Instagram. There's no cell phones.
Yep.
Like, get the fuck out of here. There's no cell phones, none of that shit. So it's like, what were they taught when they were kids? And then what were we taught? Like, it covers a large area of time where there's a lot of misinformation and shit that we know differently now, and we expect just kids to like know that. I mean, kids are programmed.
Yeah. Well, I always like to I always look at my family, then my boyfriend's family. They were a lot more health conscious than my family was, and they'll say little things like I was looking at them the other day at the grocery store, and they were looking at cereal boxes, and they were like, okay, well, let's check the sugar first. And I've never ever in my life, like when I was younger, checked the sugar. I always picked the sugariest, most Fruit Loop thing that I could find when I was little. And I was like, dang, I never did that when I was a kid. So, I mean, it does, depend on how you were brought up and how your parents were brought up. My parents weren't brought up health conscious at all. My dad was an NFL football player, and for them, it's eat, 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 eat. And then my mom grew up kind of poor. So she didn't have, when you get in like poorer neighborhoods, they don't have the resources for healthier food. At least that's the stigma.
Yeah, I mean, you have issues. We do have issues with socioeconomic things, like where you have like the Wix card and it only buys certain foods. So of course it pushes you towards corn subsidized products and cheap things. And I just don't think that eating healthy is more expensive if you actually.
I don't either.
But the education is priceless, and most people don't have that fundamental education to even know that vegetables aren't that like if you actually look at if you eat them and you realize how much it fills you up.
They want to think that it's expensive, but it's really. I spend more if I eat unhealthy than if I do eat healthy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you. Let me see. I'm trying to get your call. I'm gonna patch in Alan for a few minutes. He can't stay long.
Oh, nice.
But then we'll get him on. Let me see. Where's Drax? Add. He's in. I'll just jump him in.
Oh, here he is.
Well, he's coming. He's coming. I'll just give him the S. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun
I
dun.
love
Dun.
his icon.
Oh, they don't see that on the screen though. You just see his
they don't.
No, they don't. We do.
It looks very Avenger-esque.
Alan, where you at? No? Avenger-esque, like entering the chat.
It does.
Alan Roberts has entered the chat. Alan Roberts has left the chat. I'm not seeing you, if you can hear me. There we go. There he is. Look at that. Ooh, look at you, sharp as a tack.
Oh yeah, well I'm trying to set up for my thing, so which I need your fucking help with because I have no fuck idea what I'm doing.
I just kicked Michelle off for a second. Oh, now Alan, you're doubled up here. Hold on a second. There we go. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, wait. What time you're going live on YouTube, right?
Yeah, as soon as I can figure it the fuck out. Yeah.
I was telling Michelle before we went live. I was like, I don't know. There's a little bit. There's always hiccups, man, because we had a hiccup before. It wasn't streaming smooth and shit like that. But yeah. What are you working on?
Well, I do programs all day for clients, but I'm also trying to fucking get it set up where I can go live. And both you guys are more than welcome to join me, but I want to go live on the main channel. And
are you having the creator on there, Alan?
What'd you say?
Are you having the dude that made Fat Topia on there?
Yeah. I was talking to him about it too. So he's as long as he can work. He's down. He's supposed to be with me on Instagram. One of the trolls tried to shake him on Instagram. Like one of the trolls like contacted him today and said that tried to be like it was like a person that hated fat people and like a bunch of them are threatening to commit suicide over your video now and shit like that. Like fuck, what the fuck's wrong with you people? You know what I mean? Like that has got to be the most annoying shit ever. Like a bunch of people trying to help save people's lives.
Yeah.
And then for people to be so like they're just gonna fucking lie. You know, they'll just lie about
all they have. They don't really have anything to back their feelings up. It's just they only have their feelings, and that's about it. Feelings and lies.
You know, there was the one thing too where the reviews. I don't know if you saw the reviews on that shit. I posted about that too. This lady has like all sorts of verified reviews on Amazon, including like plus size dresses and shit like that, right? And then like she talks about Fat Topia, not verified purchase for Amazon, but it's horrible and it's stolen content. I'm like, you got to really hate somebody to accuse somebody of stealing shit because that's illegal. Like her name's attached and shit like that. Like if this guy was a larger producer, like because he's a small time producer, if he was a larger producer, he could sue the fuck out of her. Mm-hmm. I mean, like it's crazy shit. Like it's called fair use, motherfuckers. If that was the case,
I was a little confused when they were saying that I stole their content. I was like, I'm pretty sure that you guys took content from the movie and put it on your Instagram, and then I took the same content and put it in my video.
Yeah, I just fucking I asked them for clips, and that's what I did. I'm probably gonna do another video on it because I watched the whole documentary. I think it's fucking awesome.
I want to see it. I only he messaged me a little bit like a long time ago, and then I never really got to it, and then I saw that you posted about it, and I was like, oh, I think I heard about this.
Yeah, because it furthers the conversation. Like, it's very, very, very linear to what a lot of us talk about. Like,
Yeah.
because even though Swole and I are a little bit more, like, hammered to a nail, you know. I mean, like, we have it to the point where it's like we try to crush the shit. None of us are trying to like shame anybody.
No.
I've never gotten that impression.
Since you saw the whole documentary, do you think it was like picking fun at obese
Not at
people?
all. Not even a little bit. Like, he says multiple times that nobody should be shamed or made to feel bad about themselves. Like, it's very. It reminded me of a couple. Like, I was like almost like, fuck, you stole some of my fucking material. But it reminds me of like shit where it's like, because I don't believe in that shit. Like, I really like that sort of thing. But I always preface, like, these people are going to say something negative no matter what. You know what I mean? Like you could lose 300 pounds. You could be a 500-pound person, lose 300 pounds, be rock solid, have no stretch marks, nothing like that. Like, a miracle fucking happen, right? And they'll find something. Then they'll just say you did it on steroids or something like that.
I mean, that's with anything.
That's what these people do. Like, they're fucking trolls. I mean, the internet has just made it worse. I mean, it really, really has. Like, because when I was growing up, you could like legally slap the fuck out of somebody for insulting you. Like, like, it wasn't actually like, it was still illegal, but the cops would be like, he deserved it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you said something about his wife? Yeah, you're lucky we showed up because he would have killed you.
That's like your time. Oh, you loved that.
Oh, I fucking love that shit. I'm a firm believer that says, like, and I mean, I think you guys see it with how I handle people, but I'm a firm believer that, like, one of the big things that's wrong with society is we don't drink from the skulls of our enemies anymore. I'm not the Vinces will never, ever, ever. I'll never be done. Like, I'll be like 70 years old and like fucking screaming.
I think people are so, like, they don't believe in confrontation. Even when I don't know if you were following me then, but I would get a lot of like weird messages from men, and I would just post it on up in my stories, and people would be like, that's offensive. And I'm like, what's offensive? It's like, you shouldn't post these men's messages. And I was like, well, they're gross. And they
I actually think that's one of the reasons. I think that's one of the reasons why people started sending me your material, because they're like, she handles shit like the same way you do. Because at the time we weren't really talking about the same people.
No, I've seen your videos, and I people were telling me about you, but we weren't connected yet.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, I think like true fitness professionals right now, like there's the bodybuilders, and I mean, I'm not knocking bodybuilding. Like, if you want to be that unhealthy, do your thing. But there's those folks. There's the people that like the extreme sports and shit like that. But that's not really fitness. And then there's people like us that are I think that's one of the reasons why, like, the three of us and James from Shredded Sports Science and a few other people, I think that's why we're catching so much traction, is because it is such, like, people are so fucking unhealthy, and it's so obvious, and nobody talks about it. Both me and Swole were talking about, like, how trainers don't even know how to train obese people. Like, I mean, like, it's a totally different type of training. It really is. Like, if I see, like, I try, like, I will watch some dumb gym bro fuck himself up in a gym, like, and just like be like, natural selection. But I, like, if I see a trainer like put an obese person on a Bozu ball, and I'm like, in even somebody else's gym, I'll walk over and say something.
Yeah.
But you don't know what the fuck you're doing. This person's
I've seen a lot of obese people fall on the watch of a trainer.
And the worst part about it is, like, an ankle injury for like a 350-pound person is almost a death sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because if they're active at the time, they're just barely losing weight if they're active at the time, and then all of a sudden they break an ankle and they get to be completely sedentary. They don't change their eating habits, and oftentimes it just brings on more depression, and the depression causes them to eat more, and then they just pack on the weight. Like, if you're 325, 330 pounds, and you take an ankle injury or a back injury, especially ankle and back for some reason, knee is a hinge joint, so they just strap a fucking brace on, But one of the more complicated joints, load-bearing joints, if you catch an injury on that and you're 350 pounds, I mean, you're gonna hit 400 pounds unless you fucking radically change. Like, I mean, like.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. There's a lot of people in my family that get some kind of injury, and then it just depresses them. They get even more sedentary than they are. Then if they're sedentary, then they eat more, and then,
It's that vicious cycle. It'll just keep on going around and around. And we were talking about that before you hopped on, Alan, about the mobility issue, that we could talk about diabetes, talk about heart disease, talk about all those actual medical, but you could be perfect blood profile. You know, the doctor or the modern medicine will say, oh, you're healthy. If you can't stand, you're 500 pounds, you can't move well, period, end of story. You cannot move well. You can't. And then if you can't, and Michelle with the yeasty fat folds, I don't know if you told that.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, that but
it's not funny, but it's like, it's
not funny. It's not funny because what that does, those folds, they become necrotizing fasciitis.
Yep.
I mean, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that before, but it's when your flesh starts deteriorating away.
Yeah, it's like gangrene.
It's gangrenous flesh is basically what it is, and it's fucking brutal. It kills people. Like, it kills obese people because then it feeds on the fat and all like that. It's fucking ridiculous, you know. And oftentimes, since they have diabetes, they don't know it. Like, especially if it happens in the lower extremities, they don't know it. They don't know they have it until it's like too late, until they're taking the leg and then they die. Like, if you get a lower limb amputation as a obese person from type 2 diabetes,
you're done.
50% of those people die, even if it's just a toe. 50% of those people die in 2 years. You know, I mean, like, the statistics are statistics aren't arguable. And you're talking about mobility. Holy fuck! Like, I was watching this one lady, and she, like, it's one of the fat. You know, I'm not going to name her name because I'm just not going to.
You're a nice guy.
Well, no, I'm not. But I only try to have like so many fields going on at the same time, and right now I've got like 6 fucking fires going.
You are a nice guy. That's why people follow you, and that's why we all like you, because you are a nice guy, but you're just unfiltered, and that's a good thing. Yeah. You're honest.
And well, thank you, I appreciate it. But she was talking about how, like, it's this cream, like, you know, this cream's changed my life because it stops my chafing. If you're so big that you need an artificial substance to stop yourself from hurting yourself while walking, you're too fucking big. I mean, like, you are too fucking big. And you were talking about metabolically healthy. That's one of their biggest arguments. Like, well, you can't tell if I'm healthy or not by looking at me because my test scores can be fine. Motherfucker, there's gravity. You know, I mean, like, the gravity plays brutal. It's just brutal on people. Like, Swole, you've only been like 25 pounds bigger than you are now. But Michelle and I can both attest to when you have a lot more weight on your frame than what you're supposed to have.
Even when I was more muscular, I could feel it, like, on my joints when I was competing and I had to bulk, and it didn't feel good. So I can only imagine if you are 300 pounds, what that feels like on your joints.
That's why I started trimming up, because right now I'm like 190, 195, depending on if the sun's shining. And I was 225. But I had more fat, but I had more muscle, but I was just bulking and eating more. Yeah. And I remember I ran to my car to grab my shoes because I was in the gym and I didn't want to wear my outside shoes, whatever shit that was, like my training shoes, because they matched my uniform at the time. And my knees, I'm like, I just felt like achy and they were heavy. So I'm like, enough of this, I'm too big. And right away, that one moment, and then I just started, cutting down my meals, and I did a little bit more cardio, and I just kept consistent. I lost it, and then I've just maintained like this. But I definitely know the feeling of being too heavy for your joints, and it's just it's brutal. And if you imagine multiplying that, I can't imagine that to 400 pounds, because that was 225, and I'm thinking same muscle mass, and then 200 more pounds. I couldn't even stand up. I don't know how people stand up.
What gets me is Tess Holiday. Sorry to bring her up so much, but Tess Holiday and how big she is, but then she can put all that weight into her tiny little heel, so all that pressure on your toes, that's a lot.
I really like, because people, I've actually had people be like, okay, you talk about her too much. I'm sorry, but it's like the perfect example. You know, like, I mean, it really is. She's the perfect example. Like, she's doing this whole I'm super depressed thing on her Instagram, and if she is, Tess, because that's the thing too, by the way. I know she watches everything that all of us do. I can guarantee you she watches. I know she does, because like people she's reached out to try to shit talk me to have contacted me about it, like showing me screenshots and shit. So like,
she put me in her stories for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, she'll like. I've got this. It's this funny thing. Like, nobody wants to ever mention my name, like ever. Like, I mean,
that's what I noticed. She never tagged me so that people can go to my post and actually read it. She just said that I was being fat phobic and that I was judging her and this and that, but she didn't tag me, so then at least people can go to my page and see what I said.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because I swear so much or whatever, but nobody like actually wants to, like, none of the other YouTubers want, like, all this. Now they do. Like, I had that post where I tagged you guys in yesterday. Like, all these OGs of fucking YouTube fitness and shit like that. All of a sudden, now they want to fucking have a conversation. Now I'm getting emails like collab time. Like, oh, I'm so fucking privileged that you want to fucking talk to me now. Fuck you. You know, like, you fucking piece of shit bags. All of you motherfuckers. I get like one of those every other fucking day from one of those motherfuckers. Like, you know, here's the thing. Like, if I want to get super fucking just famous, like YouTube famous, Jeff would have me on his channel. Like, I could blow my channel up big right fucking now, because the biggest fitness YouTuber is a friend of mine. I could easily fucking do it. But one, I don't want to be the next Jeff Cavaliere. I want to be the first me. And two, I care way more about getting people healthy. Like, I don't know about you. Like, both you guys are coaches too. Like, my business outside of here is way more than this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think
this shit's how I get my.
We all, you know, have more of a, not more of a following, but we help more people with our training more than anything, you know, because then we're more hands-on with them. Yeah.
Well, none of that, but like, in the long term, do your biceps matter? Like how big are your arms? You know, does that fucking really matter? Mm-hmm. Like, wow. I mean, yeah. We'll see when I'm down there, motherfucker. We'll see. I hang about 18 inches when I'm pumped up.
Oh, so. Shit.
But it's all tricep, dude. Like, I mean, my biceps look like a fucking 12-year-old's, but it's all tricep.
Triceps and an elbow. That's all I need.
Yeah, for real. But it's one of those things where it's like I think that the difference is we care about getting people healthy. You know, like, I couldn't give a fuck. We turned down money constantly for people wanting to be on stage or power lift and shit like that. Like, I don't have time for that shit. One, because we have a lot of people to get healthy, and two, like, I just don't find any gratification in that. You know, like, I mean, it's one thing. Like, first, like, Michelle, I can understand why you do, because you've been on stage. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been on stage. Why the fuck would you even come to me? You know? Yeah.
Well, it's like going after, like, you want to lose weight and you go to like a personal trainer that's more overweight than you. It's like, well, that's not really the best, not the best example. But right. It's certainly all three of us we help a lot of people. That's not on the forefront. I think I guess one of the misconceptions with YouTube is that everyone that has big followings, everyone that gets attention, everyone's making buco bucks. And that's not, maybe it was the case. But now, as we've all discussed many times, you know, monetization, like, I don't do it for the money. No one here does it for the YouTube money. We all have our own businesses with helping people and actually providing the training content. This is more for spreading messages and, you know, having our creative, I guess, liberties and having fun. And at the same time, passing it to many more people that are ever going to give us money, which is obviously it's enough to get by. It's enough to survive. That's fine with me. But the message is going to be spread wide and far if you're hitting it on this kind of a network. But a lot of people will just see that as, they're just doing this for attention. Yes, but to spread a message.
It was the same. I don't know if I shared it with you guys in that group, but when I was talking to the boycott fat acceptance woman, she was like, I bet you guys got paid a pretty penny to be up whatever his name's ass and promote his thing. I was like, none of us got paid. Nobody got paid money for this.
I saw that too. Like, shut the whole fuck up. You know, like, I mean, like, I don't even, like, how do these people get to that shit? Like, I mean, like, I don't even, how people think that guy could have actually paid us to fucking talk about him is fucking crazy.
Because everyone does. Everyone gets paid. Everyone takes sponsorships. Everyone has a 10% off code. Oh, sign up here. Here's my affiliate link. Every single person on YouTube has like a store in their comments. Like, everyone that's like, here's my product. Here's my this. Here's my that. I think people are just programmed that they just assume because of Instagram and influencers and everyone getting paid, everyone assumes that that's just what everyone does. And I'm hardcore against taking money for that.
It's most people, like you said. It's like whenever I follow someone, they have a code to something that they need to sell.
Yeah, it's always a supplement. It's always I just happen to have my big container of BCAAs in the gym with me at this time. When have you ever brought in like an entire fucking tub of protein into the gym with you and just like been there on the bench scooping out protein? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Shut the whole fuck up. A wise man once told me that. Shut 100% of that fuck. Just close it. Shut it.
I mean, like, I don't understand why the like, there's one guy, I forget all the people's names who I fucking mentioned, but but he was like, the biggest problem that's stealing you from your gains is underdose pre-workout. Like, yeah, that's the biggest problem.
That was an ad. That was probably an ad.
Yeah, it was. I do a lot of that though. Like, I do a lot of, like, I pull somebody's actual ad and I fuck it up.
I think it was like it was one of those natural. It was one of those ads with like the orange like they were the two blenders, right? Like the Bro. That wasn't Bro Labs. It was like Natural Labs or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I'm like, not getting enough L-theanine is not why you're not making gains. It's not because of the citrulline, bro.
Yeah. Well, citrulline is literally just a vasodilator. I don't even understand how people think that makes gains. Like that's good for youth. It's good for a visual pump, but it's not actual gains. Like, and some people say there's science that says like, well, if you can get the muscles to expand more and then blah blah blah, the nucleus overload, blah 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 blah. Just fucking lift weights.
People want there to be a supplement that works. I mean, if you go to the gym and you have some caffeine or some water and you have a good pump and you have short rest and you get a good cardio workout before and you'll have a sick pump. It's going to go away. It's transient hypertrophy. The body is going to send tons of blood to the muscles, and then guess what? Your body wants that back because your brain needs some love too, and then it'll reabsorb and you go back to parasympathetic mode, and that's how it happens. That's why anyone that's just pumped and ripped and has their veins coming out all the time, you're on something. You're not pumped if you're not training. There's no need for your veins to be busting out of your fucking biceps when you're just sitting there. Like, I don't have any, like when I'm in the gym, I look like I'm saucing because I'm just like, you're sweating, everything's coming to the surface, and everyone's
the fucking lighting's awesome.
Yeah, why do you think people do tan and oil before they go on stage? It's like it shows all the definition. You're in the gym sweating, you're going to look more cut.
Well, I had, that's one of the things right now. Like from last year, I gained like 25 pounds back just because I was going to die. I felt like I was going to die last summer. But I also was really tan last summer, and I'm not right now. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, you gained so much weight." I'm like, "It's like 25 pounds. Like I'm going to get a tan here before I go to Florida," and it immediately changes how you look.
Just get a base. Just get a base. You'll be all set.
Yeah, like it's very nice to see Michelle's actual skin color today, but but seriously,
whenever I get a tan, more tan than I am now, naturally, people think that I'm a lot leaner than I am.
Yeah, I mean, it does wonders. It does wonders. Yeah. But I mean, even if you look at pictures of you, because you're a perfect example right now, because you paint your entire body so much, the pictures look very different. Like your body looks very different from time to time. Like your arm, I noticed that in your arms. Like sometimes your arms, it's like, holy fuck, is Michelle on something? But no, I mean it does just, it's lighting and it's everything like that. And I think people don't understand how much. I know when I have pictures taken, I have 100 pictures taken, and I pick 4.
Oh yeah, especially if I took the time to paint my skin and whatnot, we're going to get the best lighting. I'm going to get the best pose. We're going to take a lot. I can make sure that I give the best presentation that I can. Yeah. And I don't think people understand that one either.
A picture is a snapshot in time. It's that's what you look like in that instant.
It's
it's same thing with that blood work. When you go to the doctor to get blood work, that's like taking a picture. And how different do you look? People get blood work done once a year. So if you take one picture a year, you're going to look pretty different. How you were at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday doesn't mean, then you're cleared for health. That's just where your blood was at right then in the moment. And I'm surprised a lot more medical professionals don't address that and require more. I'm sure they do if you have a disease already. You're like, we have to come back in to make sure it's already too late. It's that's after.
That's one of the reasons why there's the latest thing I think you guys were talking about earlier, how they're not listening to doctors anymore. That's a big thing. Don't say the word obese, even though it's a medical term, and don't listen to your doctor. Yeah, don't let your doctor weigh you. What the fuck? Don't go.
Oh, I saw that video of yours when they got upset. You weren't supposed to let your doctor weigh you.
That's dangerous. That's literal.
It's super dangerous.
Don't listen to. I mean, look, you can still formulate your own opinion. I think it's important to cross check if it says you can still go to get another opinion. People get multiple opinions from doctors. Or just people. Go on Google and cross check it, and then bring that information to your doctor or go see someone else. But don't just ignore what they say and don't let them not weigh you. How are they going to fucking diagnose you?
If you lose 10% of your body mass in 6 months, or lose or gain 10% of your body mass in 6 months, it better fucking be on purpose. In reality, if it just happens by accident, something's going on. The person could be depressed, clinically depressed and not eating, or clinically depressed and eating too much. The person could have a fucking tumor that's fast growing, or they could have cancer like leukemia and losing weight without realizing it. They could have an autoimmune disorder. They could have fatty liver. They could have kidney disorder. There's a gajillion things that could happen. Yeah, there's so many fucking things that can happen that a doctor can catch by early detection. But if they don't get weighed, for a year, 2 years, 3 years, first of all, that's how people get obese. People don't get obese overnight. People get obese over the course of several fucking years, normally, unless some sort of very traumatic event happens where they go from very, very, very active to completely sedentary, and they're depressed and they don't change up their nutritional intake, or they fucking they just have some sort of serious life trauma that causes some serious mental scarring, and they cope with food, which does happen.
Think about that increase though. When you said 10%, just to give some context, if you're 200 pounds, that's 20 pounds in 6 months. I mean, that's that's a lot of weight. You think, oh, well, that's 20 pounds. People think 20 pounds is not that much. And then 6 months goes like that. If you're 20 pounds heavier, that's not muscle. Or I mean, you're not going to build 20 pounds of muscle in 6 months, but that's massive. And if you're already 300 pounds, that's 30 pounds. And that's, you gain that much over the course of years. In 5 years, you've gained 150 fucking pounds.
Right. Oh, that's the thing too. Like, I mean, people, it's so easy. Like
1 pound a month.
Yeah. Like people that discover Starbucks. I was going to do a video about this. Like we had a client that came to us, she was like, I have tried everything. I've tried not eating. I've tried liquid diets, everything like that. She was drinking like 700 calories in Starbucks a day. Jesus Christ. And not fucking real. And like in her mind, it's just coffee because they know so little. We literally just had her switch to black coffee, and weight was just fucking falling off her to the point where I was like, okay, we need to actually adjust a little bit because we did give her some activity to do. So there was like 1,000 calorie swing, and she's like dropping weight like fucking crazy. And I'm like, well, let's slow down here. Like let's add a few calories back in because she had gained like 50 pounds in the course of a year. Well, when you're drinking 700 extra calories a day that you hadn't allotted for, and your activity stays the same, 100 calories a day, you can kind of average out to be 10 pounds a year. So 10 pounds a year times, it's 70 fucking pounds. I mean, I think that's the difference between like us and, I mean, John talks about it a lot too, and James is really, really good about scientific information and knowledge. Like we talk more about health and wellness and like the facts of shit, And I know tons of people are gonna be like, well, there's not necessarily 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. It's just the fucking average, motherfuckers. Like but it's what it averages out to. Like people get caught up. That's another group of people that get caught up in the fucking semantics and fuck shit up too.
Language is everything. That's where the fat acceptance, and that's what Michelle and I were talking before you hopped in. We were talking about how if you use language as a weapon and you play the language game, you don't have to make any change, and you can go down that rabbit hole as far as you can. I was showing her the thing with Madeline Georgetta. I got sent like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I don't want to make another video yet, but she changed all like the names of her program to be. To coincide with her anti-diet culture, because I guess the names are probably like weight loss phase or something. It's like, well, you keep on playing with language, there's no end to that rabbit hole, and you have to keep on going deeper and deeper and alienating more and more people until you're just there by yourself. So it's easy just to play with names and numbers, and you're not going to gain weight overnight. I take a little bit of a different stance in terms of I don't like all the talk just about straight caloric deficit, but it's still the fact. Like I like to talk about quality more and other habits, but I had someone message me about, well, I'm in a caloric deficit. I'm training 6 days a week. I'm just not losing weight.
And you're not in a caloric deficit.
Where are you getting this energy from? Are you just like, are you just
answer? I just had a quick question. How do you guys answer that? Because I usually tell them you're probably not in a calorie deficit.
That's what I say.
They swear that they are doing everything.
You're not. How? Where are you getting this? Where are you getting energy from? Your body isn't creating unless you have like. You don't have a nuclear.
It's physics.
It's not nuclear fission in your stomach, right?
Yeah, it's thermodynamics. It's physics. Like, I mean, that's the thing. It's just fucking facts. That's now the person. If the person, I have like the only time I've ever bought. Like we've had clients come to us and like, I'm doing everything I can. Blah blah blah. I'm eating 1,200 calories. This and that. Blah blah blah. I'm still not losing weight. Send me every fucking thing you do. Eat nothing. Like here's the 3 foods you can fucking eat. I want to see every piece of it go in your fucking mouth. Send me a picture, send me a video, send me everything like that, right? They still don't lose weight in 2 weeks. Go to the fucking doctor. And we've had it twice happen. Well, we've had it like 3 times happen where the person just never talks to us again. But and we've had it twice happen where the person went to the doctor and they had hypothyroidism. Like, and they got put on medication, all of a sudden fucking weight just started falling off,
I feel every single time I've had a client come to me and say they cannot absolutely lose weight, I usually say, okay,
they're eating donuts.
Bring me your journal. I usually say to me like 4 to 5 months and see what happens, just in case they have trouble. Like, usually what I see when they give me their food journal is they aren't counting everything. They're not counting the weekends. they're not measuring correctly, and they're forgetting to put stuff in,
Mm-hmm.
and then so that it's very easy to go over.
They're not counting the cooking. They're not counting the cooking oil. They're not counting with their drinks. They're not counting shit like that. Like everything. All that's I heard you guys talk about Weight Watchers. That's my issue with Weight Watchers. You cannot have 0-point food. You can't. It is such a dangerous thing.
Water. That's it.
Yeah, it is such a dangerous thing to approach a group of people that have a poor relationship with food and tell them this food's free. Like it's irresponsible. You know, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's just utterly and totally irresponsible from a huge group they're so trusted and all like that. It just to assign no value to like chicken and bananas and shit like that. Like bananas are like, especially if they're very, very, very ripe bananas. Bananas are like one of the worst things you can eat in the morning because very, very ripe bananas have a super high sugar content too, and they have fucking plenty of calories in them. So you're taking in calories as a 0 point, and people like I've seen Weight Watchers blogs where they eat like 5 bananas for breakfast. No points.
Well, I was very, I don't know if it was always, I'm sure it wasn't always Weight Watchers doing that, but I somehow got into the 0 calorie type thing when I was trying to lose weight, and bananas were one of the, I would freeze about 5 or 6 bananas because I love ice cream, so I'd freeze the bananas and then put them in the blender with a little bit of milk and make myself ice cream, and I would have that like for an extra meal. Yeah. So that was about 5 bananas, so about 600 calories of extraness. And
then they wonder why people stay in Weight Watchers forever, you know. But they're so trusted. It's in such a trusted name brand and all like that. But you know, and you guys were talking about the Weight Watchers for kids thing. That's evil. I mean, that really is. That's evil. Like, I mean, like if your child is underweight or overweight, you need to see a nutritionist and help the child out. And you need to learn. Like, if I'm not talking to you two because you guys are gonna know this. But are either of you guys parents?
No,
I'm not.
Okay, you should, but have one. One's a good fucking number. Well, parent, like being a parent, like I met my son when my son's my son. I don't ever call him my stepson because he's not. He's my son. But I met him when he was like 5.5. It was the best gift that was ever given to me. I mean, it really was. It was absolutely. I love being a dad. He works for our companies. Like he's out in the other room right now. He's like 19 now, which is really cool because now he doesn't live here and we get to walk around naked and shit. But but. If your child is overweight or underweight, which happens nowadays because parents control very little of what a kid eats, to tell you the truth, because when they go to school they can suck down 2,000 calories at lunch at school very fucking easily. Mm-hmm. If your kid's underweight or overweight, don't send them to Weight Watchers. Go to the fucking doctor and let's talk to the doctor, and then you need to talk to other people. You need to take that shit seriously, because if kids are overweight, if they're overweight by the time they're 13, they're going to be morbidly obese, almost statistically as a rule. And if they're obese when they're if they're morbidly obese when they're a teenager, they're going to be dead by 35 or 40.
Are they?
You know what I mean?
Is that app designed for the kids to use themselves? Because I don't know all the details about it. Like, is it meant for the 5-year-old to use, or is it meant for the parents to track?
I think it's for like teenagers, and shit like that.
Because it starts with the parents. It starts with school. It starts with the parents. And we were just talking before, and I was like, my dad was born in 1960. So think about, or 1950. So when he was 10 or 12, it was like the early 60s. I mean, think about how fucking different things are now. And we all know that what you learn when you're a kid, whether it's religion, whether it's ideology, you hold that deep as part of like your identity, unless you actually dig through and unlearn, which is really, really challenging. That's a lot of like soul searching and understanding and self-awareness to like eradicate all that, like, you know, programming. And when you think about when we were all born, it's like how much different it was, and where we are now. It starts with the parents. I think it has to, and because it can't start with the kids. Kids don't know. They're supposed to be taught. The government and food industry, like, they're not gonna. You can't wait for them. They're not gonna change like overnight. It's gonna take centuries or decades at least, you know, until it has to start with like us making content and then parents watching and being like, you know what, I need to take that into my house. And it just needs to be a lot more than just us 4 or 5 or 6 people. I think it just takes time. But what are your thoughts on where it starts? I don't see how it starts anywhere else. I
mean, in reality, I hate to even say this because I really do try hard to like be positive about this, but we're losing. Like, I mean, we're losing the war. Like there's like a war against facts and health. Mm-hmm. We're really we really are, and I don't know if we've helped. Like, I mean, I like it's really in the last year it's exploded. like exploded. Like where I mean, like I don't like even when I started YouTube, it wasn't this big of a thing.
Yeah,
You
we
know
were
what
just
I mean?
talking about that. I didn't hear healthy at every size in 2016. I didn't hear that
And
anywhere.
it's just exploded, you know, and like I don't, you know, people get so upset, like they're like so quick to be pissed about shit, like where they want to be upset, they want to be mad, they don't want anybody to tell them they're wrong about anything, shit like that. And I think that we're just in that kind of generation where people don't want to hear anything bad about themselves at all if they don't have to. I mean, people don't even communicate in person anymore. It's like I was telling you guys, like how when I grew up, you could slap the fuck out. It's like if somebody wanted to talk shit to you, they had to be next to you, and you could slap the fucking piss out of them. You know, like
It's true.
I mean, that's just how. I mean, I know that people like think like, well, that's barbaric. Yeah, it is, but you know what the fuck, you know, like. I mean, you could. I mean, and I've gotten the shit slapped out of me several fucking times, and guess what? I learned serious fucking lessons.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, like well, I mean, me and my son had this thing where one of his friends growing up in high school, and I hope the kid's not watching because I hope he turned out okay. But I was like, that's the type of kid that gets beat to death at a bar when he turns 21. And he's like, why? I was like, because he is going to talk shit to some older dude.
You say the wrong shit to the wrong person,
and because he thinks he can say anything at all because they talk so much shit online. I was like, that kid, and they had never been even in a scuffle, you know, because they call like now in school nowadays they call the cops if there's a scuffle. Like they used to just like kind of brush us off, call our parents, send us home, fucking, you know. Anyway, but you know, I was like, he's going to say the wrong thing to somebody and get his ass kicked so bad it might kill him because he missed an ass kicking, you know, like, and people unfortunately don't get that ass kicking by reality anymore until they're dead almost, you know, like, and that's what's happening right now. They're just got like people from the fat acceptance got their head buried so far in the sand that they don't want to hear reality. They like, and reality has this thing. Reality reaches up and slaps the fucking piss out of you. Like, remember when you were young and you thought you could make it on your own and shit like that, and you were broken the first week? Like that's a fucking serious reality. Well, people people have a hard time even learning that shit anymore.
Dash was saying, people kind of live on the internet in this world, and I think some people don't come out of it. You know, all the fat, like, and what you were saying too. I think a lot of these fat acceptance or body positive people never. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I got made fun of in high school, and it kind of made me stronger for, you know, what I am today. And I learned confrontation and whatnot. And I don't think maybe these people never had anyone say anything bad to them, or
this is the bullying. It's the victim. It's a reverse bullying, because in real life, if you're a victim and, you know, there's the bully, there's the classic bully, you know, kicking sand in your face. You couldn't win the fight. You couldn't stand up. Now with social media, you can attack right back. So now you have like the reverse bullying from like victims, and that victim mentality. You can get together and you can attack all day long with, like Alan said, no consequence. You're not going to get beat
anonymous.
Up. It's either anonymous or you're in a digital world. You can stay in your room and just even with your name and just say things, or with a screen name, even worse. So you can literally hide behind that and flip the script. And now it's just kind of like it's a backlash of all that pent up aggression. And that's
what that page was about yesterday. The body, whatever it was. It didn't have a
complete troll account.
So, yeah, I mean, it's shit like that's very, I mean, I find that shit hilarious.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was very, very funny. Like the concept that in some way, my thing back in here, we're going to die out. The concept that like this person's like, these people are just horrible and the biggest fat phobic motherfucker. Like, I've been fat, you know, like, fuck you, you know, like, yeah. And you know, my thing about that, to anybody that's watching about the fat phobic thing, I will say it. I have said it once. I've made whole videos about it. Everybody should be fat phobic. You know why? Because that shit will fucking kill you. It's like making fun of somebody for being alligator phobic. That motherfucker will kill you. Like, I mean, like, you should have a healthy fear of walking up to a fucking alligator. It might fucking take your arm off. You know, or like just like obesity, take your foot off. You know, I mean, it really is a fucking. It's like when your common sense and your survival instincts are working in synergy. And that was the comment I made back to that person. I don't take that as an insult. You're fucking absolutely right. I'm fat phobic. I'm terrified myself of getting fat, of getting obese. I'm terrified of it. Fucking terrified. That's what stops me from drinking a 12-pack of beer and eating a pizza every day, motherfuckers, because that's what I would love to do. You know, I love pizza and I love fucking beer. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'd fucking chow that shit up down every day. You know, I mean, I would, you know, like if I listened to my food cues, there'd be Domino's here right now.
Oh, God.
Your intuitive eating?
The permission. You have permission from all these, from intuitive eating, Alan. all these Instagram nutritionists, you need to realize something, Alan. You have permission. You have permission.
Yeah.
No restriction now.
Absolutely.
You have permission. You have permission to
and
if you have 8 pizza pies in your house, you're not going to overeat because you have it in abundance. You have permission.
Yeah. I have a client right now that and I love him dearly. He's been with me for a long time, man. I actually love him. He's awesome. When he hits his weight goal, I'm going to go visit him, for real. And that's I say that very rarely about people. But he's so addicted to pizza, it's like a drug, man. He's sold shit to get pizza, literally sold jewelry and shit, pawned it off to get pizza when he needed it. It's his drug, So that's why when people say listen to your food cues, I just want to be shut the whole fuck up, because you're gonna when you say that on a broad stage, the person that should hear it. That should hear it the least hears it the most. Mm-hmm. The person that's really struggling with a food addiction, and I'm a certified food addiction coach. I take this shit seriously. The people that need to not hear that shit tend to be the most susceptible to it, because they have the weakest will, and they want somebody to say they can't. It is like telling an alcoholic you can have a beer. It really is. It's just fucking horrible. And but yet I'm the bully. Somehow I'm the mean guy. That fucking pisses me off. It really does. Yeah, not that they think I'm mean. I couldn't give a fuck about that, but the other shit pisses me off.
Michelle, you were saying before, I don't know if Alan was on at this point. We're talking about the messages we get from teenagers. So Michelle, you get, because I get them too. I get them from 14-year-olds hey, I want to eat healthier, but my family won't. Yeah. So do you have anything a specific instance in mind, Michelle? I know you've probably gotten them.
Yeah.
It's just it's usually the same over and over again. They want to know advice about, talking to their parents. And then when they talk to their parents say it's just too expensive. And that's that. So I know my parents actually did that when I was younger. I was the first one to start eating healthy in my immediate family. And I went to my mom and I was like, hey, can we not buy these things? And she said, your father is the, person of the house and he gets whatever he wants. And so I ended up just started nannying for almost all the families in my neighborhood, and I made my own money all throughout high school, and I started buying my own food.
Yeah, that's why I tell them. It's okay, you have a couple options. You have to do your best, but it's discouraging when you have someone who's young, who's ready, oh, I saw your video, I was inspired, I want to make a change, and then everyone in their family, obviously the people that we're referring to, in most cases, are the ones that need to help them make the change, or the ones that need to help them and guide them. They don't have a job. It's not that easy just for a kid to go and get a job, for, the legal reasons or all this, that, and the other. It's frustrating when you can't help someone that should be helped. And it starts with the fucking family unit, man. Yeah. I know we're losing, and I think we've already essentially lost just because of when you have 70% of the population that's obese, overweight, how do you come back from that before everything crashes out? And then, it has to restart from the ground up. It's almost like it needs to be, it's like fucking Avengers. Someone dropped a Thanos comment about reality reality is always, you'll be disappointed by reality or something. But it's frustrating. It seems like we almost need a restart from scratch. But it's a weird, heavy, momentous machine that we're trying to slow down and reverse.
Well, here's the thing, man. And people can say this all they want. People talk about YouTube and all that shit. We've talked about it before. There's so much money involved. You think YouTube's going to say no to McDonald's money? They'll ban me or you, probably you first because of the nuts on chin thing, but then me, and then then Michelle shortly after. John will be good. John will be good. John's going
to be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, John's going to be fine. We'll just have to be guest appearances on his channel, but we'll get banned, but they're never going to they'll allow mukbangs forever, because why? There's a McDonald's fucking Big Mac in it, it's money, here if they really if you really wanted to start a trend in the right way, when they gave you your total through a drive-through window, they give you your calorie total too.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
That'd be awesome. That would definitely stop me from, because that was the biggest thing for when I was gaining weight. I didn't know how many calories.
People, they have no idea.
The moment that I started paying attention to calories, all of a sudden I didn't need, whatever it was anymore.
They have no idea, but People don't even understand how quickly they can have 2,000 calories for lunch. At McDonald's, like that's why these 10,000 calorie challenges are fucking stupid.
But then you get those pictures again. You use oftentimes on where fitness goes to die, right, Alan? On Instagram, where you have like the pile of sugar, 200 calories on the left, and then you have, an apple or something on the right, and it's like, well, you can't, even when you have like a blog underneath, you can't compare sugar to fruit, or even just pure sugar in a pile to a piece of pizza. Like, it's two different things. That's why they look different. They're different. Calories aren't calories. They are, but they're not.
Well, you can't compare processed food to non-processed, especially sugar, because a calorie is not a calorie when it comes to sugar, and I'll argue that sugar is an addictive substance. But fructose is an addictive substance. The glucose in sugar is not necessarily addictive. The fructose in sugar is very addictive. Fructose is what makes it taste. That's what actually makes it taste sweet. That's what makes your brain release dopamine and everything like that. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's what I find like the interesting thing about like our crew. For the most part, like, come at me, motherfuckers. Like any of you, like, for real, any of you fat acceptance people listening, I challenge any of you. Come the fuck at me. Okay, I mean, for real.
Has anyone ever like taken you up on your offer?
No,
yet?
Nobody.
Wonder why.
Nobody. I think Connor's trying to find somebody to debate me, and I think they're going to find my name out fucking. Because here's the thing, come at me. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. It is plain science. Like, it is plain science. Us and our crew, we know what the fuck we're talking about. It's reality. We've experienced it ourselves. Right now, like, I've had hundreds of obese clients. Hundreds, most of which have come from some sort of fat acceptance community, most of which have. And it's what led them to all of a sudden their doctor says, do you want to die? All of a sudden that wakes their ass up, because it's only going to be so long. Like, Tess is young. I still think the reason why she's playing the super depressed thing right now, or maybe she is, maybe she's not playing, maybe she is super depressed, but I just know if I was super depressed, I wouldn't be telling the fucking tired 2 million people I was,
Well, she likes attention. So.
Yeah. But I think she's had a health scare, and I think that's what's
I think it has.
Yeah. But, come at me, because, like, I can tell you what's up. I can tell you why. My wife and I, my wife is also a certified food addiction coach, we could sit down with somebody just knowing what we know about nutrition and about the psychology of addiction and stuff like that. We can sit down with somebody and I can tell you within an hour what you're addicted to, why you're addicted to it, what we can do to stop it. Like, one of the big things people are like, they're so chemically out of whack. One of the best things they can do is have 750 milligrams of tryptophan in the morning and 750 milligrams of tryptophan at night. Tryptophan helps serotonin level out in your brain, and it also will help the person get some more sleep, which will help the process of their body, taking off fat anyway. Like, there's so many fucking things that are not spoken about in the fitness world. Like, we've got all these fucking weight loss supplements and shit like that. None of them actually have tryptophan or NQOT. None of them have a balanced out thing of magnesium, zinc, and calcium. Like, things like that. Like, things that these people need because their hormones are so fucking out of whack that they can't fucking get themselves there. Like, it's pathetic that these fucking people that call themselves fitness professionals, which they're not, rob these people. And they rob these people of their lives. Like that, I take that really fucking serious, because it's of their life. When one person says, I can get you in the best shape of your life in 6 months, when the person's 300 pounds, I wish I was standing next to them. I would gladly go to fucking jail for that shit, because in reality, that you could be killing that person, because that person weighs 300 pounds. There's no fucking way they're going to get in great shape. They're going to get, if you really actually do try, you're going to put them on some sort of Biggest Loser type fucking workout. They're going to get hurt. They're going to get demotivated. They're never going to try again, and they're going to fucking die an early grave, probably leaving wife, kids, shit like that, to fucking miss them. And it's because some dumb motherfucker wanted to make the money from 6 months. You'll be fucking fit.
I don't know how you debate this. I don't even know how would you debate it?
There's not really a debate too, because there's so much facts behind. I don't get it. Maybe that's probably why they won't debate, because they can't back up anything.
How can you? Oh no, you can be. It's not like, I mean, all the facts are here.
Yeah, the metabolically healthy thing is what they always fall back on, and I still fall. Well, gravity. Like, you are not healthy carrying 100 pounds more than what your body was designed to do. Do that to a chair. Like, I mean, that's one thing. Like, I keep seeing that thing. Like, well, you've never had the embarrassment of sitting in a restaurant chair and having it break. Motherfuckers, heads up.
Yeah.
A restaurant. The last thing in the fucking world a restaurant wants to have happen is a customer hit the fucking floor. You know, I mean,
like who would want that to happen? Who's actually like trying to make that happen?
Their lawyers would, like, the manager's getting fired, the maintenance person's getting fired, the fucking waiter's getting fired. They're going to do everything they can to avoid the fucking lawsuit. They don't, like, those chairs, like, restaurant chairs are not built to just be flimsy. They hold fucking weight. You know, I mean, they really fucking do. So if you sit in a restaurant chair and it shatters, it's you.
Yeah.
Unless there's, and if it's not you, call a lawyer, because you definitely can sue the fuck out of them. I mean, for real. But if you wait.
We're talking about chairs shattering. I don't know if you made a video about this. It's super, super old, but it's kind of new now because there's a second one that opened. But there's a woman, she sat in a salon chair and broke it. And she said that it was very embarrassing, whatnot. And she said that she was upset that the salon didn't accommodate her size. And so she opened a salon that can hold women up to 800 pounds. What do you guys think about that?
I think that it's not solving the problem.
And wait, I'm not done yet. Hold on. And they serve cupcakes and mimosas to their clients.
Yeah, I saw that. You made a video on it, and I saw that, like, before. It was like the Whale, right? The Whale Salon or something. Yeah. What was it called? Yeah, I mean, you're pandering. It's the same thing. Like these nutritionists that say, "Oh, eat to your." If you gain weight, it's because your body needed to. It's like, if you gain the weight, it's because you're in a caloric surplus when your body didn't need to be, and that's why. If you're making a business, you're just profiting off sick people. You're actually encouraging. You're feeding their addiction. It's completely negligent, and it's actually being an active part of the problem. And most people don't want to accept that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the lady that owns that shop, like, isn't she, like, disabled obese?
She can't move. She can't walk. She couldn't cut the ribbon to open, her opening for the salon. She couldn't stand up and cut it. So there's pictures of her sitting there. And even in all the interviews that I've seen, I have never seen this woman stand.
Holy shit.
I mean, again, to anybody that's watching that's obese, like, I mean, I hope you understand, like, this comes from, like, the most ultimate place of love. But if you've gotten to the point where you can barely move, you're robbing yourself of life. Like do something about that, because there's so much, like, yeah, I mean, like, fuck, man, like, my wife and I have taken walks on probably the most beautiful beaches in the fucking world, man. Like, I mean, like, like the memories that you, like, your world should be more than your chair. You know, like that's a very, very small, very, very, that's not a life. That's barely an existence. You know, like, yeah, if your life revolves around food, that is not making you happy. And if it is, it's not making you happy for long. Like, if you have disabled yourself, that's Sauna Lee fucking woman, that fucking horrible fucking woman. By the way, I had somebody, like, yell at me because I misgender appropriated for her. Because I called her a woman, and she's like one of the whatever. I just want everybody to know, I don't care what you identify as. I'm not that kind of person. I don't care if you're gay, straight. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I mean, I don't care what religion you are. I'm atheist, so I couldn't give a fuck what religion you are. But, I really don't. Just, I mean, I don't care what you identify as or anything like that. But that woman, because I'm just going to call her a woman because she looks like a woman to me. But that woman, saying that it's okay if you disable yourself, but it's okay to disable yourself, becoming morbidly obese, that is horrible. That is horrible.
I'll be right back, you guys.
Yeah, you can be. She should be. If she wants to do that to herself, look. If you want to stay offline, don't spread bullshit. That's fucking evil. That's evil. Yeah. And if she wants to be, evil. She could call herself a fucking chair. If you have a vagina and you have a fucking X chromosome, you're a woman, you're a female. You can.
I don't care what they do. I don't care.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You call whatever you want. Like, you can whatever you want on the inside, act how you want. But when you're telling people it's okay to be crippled by food and obesity, like, you're literally saying it's okay to die young and just be addicted. It's I don't even know what to say about that. It's fucked up. It's sick. It's
like that's the type of shit we're like. That's the type of shit we're combating with this, though. And I mean, I got to be honest. Like, I don't even like that my content's almost entirely about it. I really don't. I really do not like it. I like that my business, our main business, I love helping people get to healthy weights. I absolutely love that shit. But then my content's all about it. Like, I like to be funny and have a good time and shit like that too. You know, like, I mean, I personally, I think I'm fucking hilarious. So, I mean, not a lot of people do, but like, I think I'm funny, you know? And but I hate that my channel has to be like that. But like, it's like fucking like, I don't understand how other people aren't. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't get it. Like, I understand why some of the like guys are like I get why like Cavalier doesn't do it, because he's about PT and about athleticism, and we've had conversations about it before. I've like some of those guys, I get it, but like some of the like just mainstay health people, like what? You can call yourself like.
They're just scared of the backlash, the name calling.
I gotta be honest.
They're
I gotta be honest. I don't give a fuck what people that call me. I don't. I
really
don't.
A lot of people do, Alan. That's the problem.
Yeah.
People don't want naughty words. They're afraid of the backlash, which, yeah, there will be backlash. And I think it's worse. And that's where John was saying when he was on. He was saying how his channel changed to this kind of like talking about these issues. And a lot of people were like, oh, we don't like that. It's like, well, fuck you. These are important issues. And I was actually thinking the same thing, because I've been called misogynist because my videos, I look and they're female. Well, as stupid as Vince is, he's not talking about this shit. Like, I mean, there are people that might, okay, that's a risky exercise. He doesn't know how to do a kettlebell clean. He doesn't know how to do a deadlift, or Chris Haria and these guys. But again, what dudes are talking about shit that's actually killing people. I mean, no exercise Vince is going to do, well, maybe one of them would kill someone. But I mean, it's not the same. It's not the same kind of anger. This is more of a serious, like, look, this is out there. And if I don't address it, and I'm sure you probably feel that same way, I feel guilty. Like, why am I making a video about a bench press and how to keep your elbows in? And this is like, that's not, that's.
I think we talked about this before, how there's so many videos out there of how to bench press and deadlift and what, like, what do I have to say about that? Nothing.
Well, there's a couple things like with the benches, but a lot of people make videos about them now too, because I mean, they're a laughing stock. Like, that was another thing too. Like, I think people just need to start being like, I was one of the first people that did that shit too, where like these people are fucking assholes. Like, I mean, like you know, look how stupid they are, and all of a sudden a lot of people start doing it, which is great. But in the reality, like, I get all the time, like, oh, just make some more Tyrone videos or make some more Vince videos and shit like that. Nothing that they're saying is actually going to, like, Tyrone's a joke. Nobody takes him seriously. You know, I mean, nobody does. Nobody does at all. And Vince, like, I mean, even for the poor newbies that are going to take him seriously, that's why I still pepper him in occasionally when he says something really radically dumb, like especially when he talks about nutrition, because that falls in my line, you know. But his exercises are not gonna do the damage that like Tess Holliday does. James did a great video on that, like the most dangerous influencers are, and they're those people. Like, for societally speaking, 10% of the population is split up is people that really want to work out. You know, 10 to 20. You know, 70% of the people want to fucking eat McDonald's and sit on their fucking ass. You know, like, and that's the market share. And I mean, we have Dr. Oz to compete with, and like people like that who just are horrible. I don't know about you guys. I've made a few videos on Dr. Oz. They don't ever really go over well. Because
I usually only talked about I think he was trying to tell people to take Garcinia and Cambogia for weight loss. That's
a miracle. It was a miracle or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a fuckhead.
Just like the acai berries. It's like, you eat this and it's gonna fucking oxidize your life. It's just gonna radiate through your eyeballs.
People really listen to. I mean, I was one of those people that before I was educated, I listened to that. I remember it was day one of my diet that I was gonna try to lose weight, and then I was starving myself, first of all, and then something just happened on the TV screen. It was like some infomercial. It had this certain workout equipment that you do at home, and then it comes with a bottle of pills, and they gave me the little chart on it, and I was like, oh, it's got a chart, like that's how many calories. I'll burn 3 times more calories just by taking this.
Because they know you.
When I saw that, my mom came home with Kentucky Fried Chicken. I had Kentucky Fried Chicken, top ramen soup, and I made myself a grilled cheese sandwich with hot Cheetos. So it influenced me to eat whatever I wanted, because if I take those pills, then it's going to help me burn whatever it was off. So people listen to it.
And the main, like, and what most people, because most people don't watch us, you know, like that's just real. Most people don't watch Most people don't watch Jeff, you know, and he's got 8 million followers, you know. They watch like The Biggest Loser and Chris Powell, and like Chris Powell appears on Dr. Oz now, and I am like, I used to super look up to him. Like he's actually where this shit came from, to be honest. What my wife and I used to watch, like his year-long Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition show, where he talked decent common sense to the people. You know, like, I mean, it wasn't great. Like there was still some higher impact stuff that I would do, but he at least talked decent common sense. It was much better than the fucking Biggest Loser, right? And then all of a sudden, like about 6 months ago, it was like crushing to me, where my wife was like, "Have you seen this?" and showed me. It's Chris Powell on Dr. Oz, doing his whole like he's a totally different person. And he's like, "Oh, like this with Dr. Oz." I'm like, "You fucking," it's like crushing me a little
sellout.
Bit. How much? But he was on a syndicated show. How much money do you fucking need?
Right.
You know,
I think I remember that a while ago. You posted about that guy.
Yeah. How much money do you fucking need? You know, like when you and
well,
I mean.
I was wondering about, like, we were talking about Madeline Georgetta. How much money is she getting by switching over and doing this whole new route that she's
I bet you it's much more lucrative. I bet you it's much. Yeah, I bet you it's much more lucrative to her, because in reality, they want to like, she could, first of all, she can gain like 15, 20 pounds and still you know and be happy, because she was fucking starving herself to death. Two, as fitness women went, I think she bought a lot of followers, just to be real, because her engagement was very low, and she's not impressive physically at all. I never thought she was attractive whatsoever.
She doesn't know how to train. You can tell she doesn't have coordination. Yeah. She doesn't know how to lift weights at all.
I mean, when watching my wife watch videos of her is very funny for me, because my wife's like, what? My wife, and Dad, she'll get to meet my wife, but like my wife, you can tell like her, like what she's thinking by her eyebrows. Like if her eyebrows shoot up all of a sudden, it's not good. So like it was that the whole time, because like she's watching, she's like, she doesn't know what she's doing. I'm like, not at all. Like not even a little. You know, like I mean, like how she even curls a dumbbell. Like it's just like the whole over exaggerated shit. Like nobody fucking does that shit.
It's the Instagram way that it's the Instagram weightlifting way. They have to over exaggerate everything and just be odd and be a circus act so that they see more people see.
Yeah,
you gotta have attention to spread your message. But like you were saying, part of me is like, she's bleeding out her business. But how is that possible? When you tell someone they could do whatever they want, then they're gonna. It's attractive, right? It's just like the magic pill. Hey, this is even better than the magic pill. I got something for you. You don't have to take a pill. Period. You just gotta change your mindset about it and change your language. And hey, I can just be the same fucking way. I don't have to change at all. So that's a lot easier than having to eat less or having to take something or having to associate with those people that think you could do better for yourself. I think everyone can do better for themselves. Everyone can help more. Everyone could. I mean, it's all, of course, you have to filter it out for what you're passionate about and what you're interested in this life. But to deny the facts is dangerous. It's harmful. And it's a weird little cult click thing, and I think it's facilitated by social media, because you're only shown things that you like, and if you only like fat acceptance stuff, you're only going to see those things. And of course you're going to be more angry when you see Michelle's video or Alan your video or my video, because all of a sudden, oh my god, attack the non-believer.
Have you guys ever gotten yelled at for using the hashtags?
Yelled at?
Like I'll get people like, don't use the hashtag fat acceptance. That's not for you.
I always hashtag.
As long as I can hit the hashtag thing and type the fucking words, any of them are for me. I'll use whatever the fuck I want. You know, like I find that amazing. Like they're not for you. Like you talk about inclusivity all the time. I don't like. They're not even inclusive with themselves like anymore. Have you like with the whole fucking that Ash from the Fat Lip podcast person came up with the whole InfiniFat and super fat and mid fat and small fat thing.
InfiniFat, I love InfiniFat.
That is it's such. I would be so pissed if somebody would call one of my clients InfiniFat. Like that is like
we were just talking about. I would feel very offended if someone called me that.
And it's a name they gave themselves. I was just like, how the fuck is that even, like, where are you coming from? Like, it's got to the point now where like they're just like big time obese people. They call themselves the most marginalized. You're not marginalized if you do it to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like I mean, like
just victimizing yourself voluntarily.
I have I have not personally ever really felt discrimination in my life, and I'm just being really, really honest. Like, and I count the atheism thing, but I could lie about the atheism thing. It's not something that's like I have to wear. I just admit it openly, and I have faced some discrimination with that. Like, if I wanted to be truthful, like I've mentioned before, I couldn't run for state, for state or local government in several states and stuff like that. Because I could just not divulge it, But like Michelle, I'm sure you felt discrimination, but I know people that have felt like serious discrimination in their life,
Well,
where
I mean,
it's
a little, a lot of the black, what is that called? I don't know, I don't know what their movement was called, but the people from that black movement going on kind of got upset at me because I told you guys know my boyfriend's white, and so they would come after me for that, and they would try to tell me that I've been discriminated against, but I don't feel that. I felt very limited amount of discrimination because of my race. I really haven't. I don't know what they're talking about, but I haven't felt much. Even when I was bigger, I didn't feel discriminated against very much.
Speaking of big,
it's funny that you're talking about the hashtags, and Michelle, we were talking about I was showing the Madeline Georgetta thing, but that was in my title today. But it does not equal healthy. And you got what? Six people of the fat acceptance movement don't like that. It's like, the only reason we get such amazing feedback is because, again, you get that little bubble of insulation for people that follow you, but it's common sense. Like, how do you debate that? How do you fight those? How do you fight those facts with feelings? It does not equal. It does not make sense.
YouTube's also a pretty safe place for not safe place, but YouTube is fat acceptance doesn't reign here. Like Instagram, fat acceptance crushes it.
It's amazing the difference. It's amazing the difference.
It's a huge difference. And you know why that is? I really believe this. Because the second they have to talk, they're not healthy. Yeah. Like for real. Like you can hear like when they have to string together sentences, like exactly, And I've been there. Like when I first started making videos, like not first, but like once I got real big when I was making videos, I would like it would fuck up my comedy cadence and shit like that. Like, I'd be like, that Vince is a dumbass motherfucker, like I'd have to like take the breath in between, and but on Instagram they fucking rule to the point where fitness is being discriminated against, and I totally believe that on Instagram. Like I totally believe that people like that post fitness things like fitness transformations and shit like that. I totally believe that they're getting like blacklisted and shit like that. I know many people that have, but
they
yet,
are.
Yeah, but
that's
yet
what
you
my
can.
Next video is about. A lot of my friends
that
aren't even like showing anything in their pictures, their before and after pictures and whatnot are getting. And I think that's part of the reason why. Remember my She-Hulk thing came down?
Yeah, you said you got pulled down.
Taking it down.
Yeah.
I hashtagged like fitness and health and whatnot, and then it was taken down. So I'm not sure.
I've only had issues with Facebook and Instagram. I've never had an issue with YouTube. So like, I mean, we're talking about that before too. My "you're fat" video, like you're not gonna like what I have to say, but you're fat. And then Facebook stopped approving it. They started blocking it. I couldn't even upload it, period. But it got it got the attention it needed. But that was all of a sudden like 2017 or 18. I think it just boom, completely like I could post it organically, but the reach is surprisingly low compared to my other videos. I wonder why. But it's like it's one of those things that you can see the transition. You can see the comparison between the Google and Facebook. Which, it's not when you use a tag on Google, obviously, use fat acceptance, boom, instant demonetization, instant this, that, and the other. But I think that's why a lot of people avoid it because if you are on, let's say, Jeff's level, Jeff Cavalier, or you have millions of followers, like not that you're depending on all that income, but you're bringing in serious coin. So a lot of these big creators on purpose, they bleep out swears, they do this. But I think the audiences and the reason why Alan, I know it's like we can't care and spread this message. I can't care and depend and try to make money on YouTube and spread the message because if I'm bleeping things, you're pandering to where people want you to pander, and it's more important to be authentic than to make a few bucks off one video.
The thing is, like, I can also tell you, like, I've had videos. I mean, I've had videos taken down off YouTube for bullying and shit like that before too. But I mean, people claim like Tyrone has had two of my videos taken down. That motherfucker. They're up on my small channel now and fully monetized. Go figure, right?
Gee, is that true?
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true.
Because I know you were posting it, but
Yeah, though they were stricken down on like with community strikes and everything on my main channel, and they're just up on my small channel now, fully monetized. Like on my small channel. But when they do give the yellow star to a video, it does all of a sudden stop. It no longer gets recommended. It no longer anything like that.
Because they can't make money off it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that like I try my best to keep them monetized. But if they're not, they're not. I can't ever say that I make a video with the express consent, like express purpose of saying I need this to be monetized, because I just don't. People that depend on YouTube revenue are fucking stupid. I mean, they're really dumb, because YouTube could change their mind tomorrow.
Yep.
So I mean, they could not pay any of us this month. They could just be like, yeah, we fucking lied. I'm sure there's somewhere in that fucking 25-page agreement that we all fucking signed that they could do that.
At any time, for sure.
At any time, I mean, it's the thing where I think on Instagram, Fat Acceptance does really, really well, because again, it's just still shots, and anybody can smile for a second. Anybody can look super happy, and the lighting can be perfect, and Instagram has the fucking, you can filter the fuck out of those things and shit like that. I filter mine on Instagram. Fuck, why not? I don't show me on my Instagram very much anymore, though. I really don't. So because I've really tried hard to make sure it's like not, the content's not about me. But although people. It's weird. Like the more I made it not about me, the more the more nicknames I got, and the more fucking people talk about the mustard and all sorts of shit. So all the time. I mean,
both of you have much bigger on YouTube than myself, but you have very unique deliveries. What do both of you think? Let's start with Michelle, about like how's your content changed, and like what do you foresee? Because like just like Alan said, I'm literally, you have to be. I'm just more aware of, I'm posting it. I'm not posting it for 5,000 people. I'm posting it for 60 or 70. And then Alan, you're posting for almost 200. I'm exactly where you are. And Michelle, so because every time you post now, obviously, like on your smaller channel, Alan, it's getting monetized because no one's watching it. And all of a sudden you get more attention, and then you start rubbing more things. But like Michelle, do you see yourself changing how you deliver?
I change as in maybe not the delivery, more, I mean, I guess the titles, because if you title it a certain way, you title it too, extreme, they get a little weird. But I'm definitely, especially ever since Alan said, I can't remember who you said it to, but he said that you have like a lot of followers, and so you have to watch out what you're putting out there, because it can be dangerous to people. I think it was, I made a video about it. It's going to be released soon. I think it was Boogie, right?
Yeah.
That you just talked about that one, and it kind of resonated with me, because I can he said self-harm, helped him in a way. Was it, I don't know if it was in the context of binging or what?
No, like self-harm, like hurting himself.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was, I kind of resonated with it, because when I was a binger, I kind of had the mental thought that if I binge to the point that it hurt myself.
No, he was talking about hurting himself.
Okay, yeah. Well, mine thought was a little bit different, but I just more aware of what I'm putting out there, since there are more eyes on you. You have to be more careful of what you say. And
I mean, that's to me. It's the same thing. Like I find myself more hyper aware. I find the swearing is always going to be there, just because I swear. I mean, I don't. I would be a horrible actor. If I ever got hired to play me, I'd kill that shit. But I would be a horrible actor. If anything, sometimes my YouTube is me turned up a little bit, the volume turned up a little louder, on me, I guess. Where I really lean into it, or I'll get hyped, or I'll make sure I have a lot of coffee in me, or something like that, or a lot. And people don't believe this, but there's a lot of times, my video from my video about Boogie yesterday. My video about Boogie yesterday, I read what he fucking wrote. I posted my comment. I posted on Instagram, and I fucking sat down and fucking made that video.
Yeah.
I was pissed, and it was one take too. I just fucking walked right through it. I post a lot. If I think something's important, I post it. I think that's how my content is changing a little bit more. It's got to be important, and the fun stuff I still plan on doing once shit settles down. We've got a lot of shit going on with our businesses and stuff like that, good stuff, but a lot of shit, So you guys, people don't understand the time sometimes it takes to make Like the editing you guys both do takes a lot of time. Like I sit down, I fucking normally can one take shit where I play my intro, slap in my intro music, and then I just let it ride, and I fucking hit render, you know. But you guys sit down and edit the fuck out of shit. So does James and shit like that. And I like right now, there'd be no videos, there'd be 0 EDDF videos if I had to do that shit. And I plan on it, but like for the roast videos though, that's what it's like though. Like when I have to break apart videos.
Yeah.
There's bunches of takes. There's normally like 2 or 3 hours worth of footage of me and shit like that.
But people resonate with that. People resonate with the fact that you're just being hyper real because they see that there's no, I mean, you got that flow where you can deliver the message. You can be engaging for the time that you're on. You're not editing. And for you, it works. And that won't work necessarily for anyone. Some of my best videos were actually like the dry mo game when I just went straight through. I look at it now and I cringe because it's a long take. And I'm like, oh, I would edit that and clip this. But it works because the message, the content, if your content's good, man, fucking rock that. Save yourself some time.
I think that's just your thing, Alan. Like, if you started doing like super intense like editing and like what is it?
Yeah.
Where I put like fart noises in mine and everything, I'd be like, oh, what is Alan doing?
Yeah, you're being authentic. You're being real.
It would be a very serious change in my content. That and I just probably couldn't figure out how to fucking do it because I'm ancient. But you know, but I think the thing is, hopefully we'll see more people like. That was kind of like my message about the Instagram thing yesterday was, you know, if you really want to help people, I'll be on your channel, even if I don't like you. You know, like, I mean, I've worked with tons of people I don't like, you know, like tons of people I don't like, you know. I mean, I recently have been lucky enough where I don't have to be around and work with people and talk to people that I don't like because, you know, frankly, you know, I'm my own boss and shit like that. My wife's my boss, but for real, she is. She's the CEO. So, but I'd make content with anybody if the message is right. You know, like, I mean, I really would because I think it's so important, and I think there's only so much that we can do. You know.
What do you think about these big channels? Because, and I don't know what your experience is, Michelle, because you did, obviously, again, like I mentioned, you guys both have at least double what I pull on YouTube. And just like bigger audiences and, you know, you're pushing on the same subjects. But because of those collaborations, like you get a lot of people coming out of the woodwork. And Alan, you mentioned this too. You see a lot of these bigger channels that are starting to do more content like what we, John, James are doing. Do you think, or both of you, do you think that's because of, oh, that's trending? Like only because it's trending? Or they're like, all right, my channel's dead. There's no more bench presses and barbell curls that I can do?
Well, like we said, there's only a limited amount of times that you can do a deadlift and keep showing. I mean, how many times do you need to see it? How many people need to post about a deadlift or a bench press? And I think people enjoy commentary type videos and where we pick apart certain things and kind of debunk it and whatnot. Like, that's what I enjoy. I try to post things that I enjoy, and I like to see that kind of stuff.
I think that I think to a certain degree, like, at some point in time, when you've made so many deadlift videos, you're going to say something that contradicts what you've said before. You know, like, I think that's part of it. I also think that they do just see that it's trendy. I see multiple channels like trying to do it to avoid people like us. Mm-hmm. I really do, because like I mean I've made no mistake. Like I remember I made a video about YouTube fitness saying I'm coming for you motherfuckers. You know, like, I mean, like, you know. Be mindful, because if you're spreading stupid shit out, you'll eventually get around to you. You know, I mean, I'm writing a book called "Be So Good They Can't Ignore You." You know, like I will make sure I'm knowledgeable enough and I know enough and I've got my shit together enough, and if I don't know it, I'll talk to people that know about it, and I'll make sure that I can come, and if I think you're out to rob people or hurt people or anything like that, when I come kicking on your door, you better be fucking ready. You know, because we've reached a stage now where it's not a joke no more. Like, I mean, like this is the best pre-workout you ever buy, and you'll make your tits light on fire and shit like that. You know, like, I mean, like, what the fuck? I mean, that day's over. Like, people are actually getting sick and shit. Yeah. You know, like, so if you're part of the problem, you better look the fuck out.
I agree. I think there are a lot of people that just want that attention grab. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but when you're not authentic, that's why people's channels get they get old, they get stale. People don't adapt with the times, and it's more than that. The message is good, but I think if you're coming at it from a good place, like we all are, that's why there's positive feedback, and that's why it will still rub people the wrong way when you have a different opinion. That's fine, and I think it would be a little bit less aggressive from all of us if it wasn't just like literally facts versus feelings.
I'd still be aggressive.
That's true.
Well,
it's not. You don't have to go as. I mean, it's not as like. It wouldn't be as obvious if it's like, oh, you believe in God, you don't believe in God. When you're getting angry, it's like, well, I mean, look, a belief is a belief. There's no proof either way. And then, right. I mean, which is why you might be atheist or someone else might believe. And it's like, okay, what you've been indoctrinated, what you were taught when you were 3, Easter bunny, shit like that. I mean, everyone has their own opinions there. But when you have, okay, again, obesity versus it's. Where's the real debate? That's why when Michelle, we're talking about, oh, aren't you, Alan, you're going to debate someone or the director's going to set it up. It's like, who would debate that? What are you going to bring to the table that will prove that?
Well,
how are you going to change your mind?
If it's anything like the film, first of all, they're going to be like, well, you hate fat people. And I'll be like, I don't think, but I mean, here to the, and I hate to make Connor's job harder, but to the likely person that's going to sit down and debate me, you're going to accuse me of fat shaming. I'm going to let you know that I've been obese, and I have 100 and some morbidly obese clients that I care about dearly, that I spend pretty much every waking hour trying to take care of and get healthy, because I can prove factually that it's not healthy. Where does the debate go from there? Like what else you got? Are you going to produce an article that says being obese is just as healthy? I mean, the bullshit, sources they come up with, like when you reference a book called Healthy to Resize, like you can't reference a study, you just reference the book. That's not a study. That's not reality. Talk to a doctor. Like, I mean, I have always said before, I would love to debate any morbidly obese person from the fat acceptance community on anything. We can just both do it. Like we'll walk up a flight of 3 flights of stairs together, and the camera will be right there when we start. End of story.
That's exactly how would that happen? How would that? It's just like
I still he says he's gonna. He says he thinks he has somebody to debate me, and I'm just like, okay.
I cannot wait. I'm super stoked for that. I'd be.
Yeah.
I would definitely be tuning in for that.
Okay, I'm not meeting with that guy till tomorrow now.
Oh, you got that. So I mean, you can let me know if about the streaming shit.
Well, you can help me afterwards now that I can get that together, and then maybe I'll go live later on my channel. Yeah,
that'd be cool. It's just something. This was actually like choppy and stuff at the beginning because I had like a setting wrong, and it was like, so we actually restarted it like just before you came in.
It would be probably about like, I'm thinking probably like noon tomorrow though, because it's my mama's birthday.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm not good enough for you, but.
Dude, my mom almost died a couple years ago, so I
appreciate it.
It would be really fun. Like, I mean, I'm talking like something with like she'd want to be on the fucking show for me to fucking be on the show. I don't like. But she almost passed away a couple years ago, so every minute I can, buddy.
Because I'm not a big person for birthdays, but someone brought that point up, and I'm like, I'm gonna look at birthdays a little bit different because, like, you're like, for example, I'm 36, and it's like, okay, it's my birthday. I should be. It doesn't have to be like, oh, party, like, oh, ego. It's my birthday, but at the same time, it's like, well, a lot of people haven't been able to experience their 36th birthday or their 40th birthday. It's like they passed away too young. It's like, you know what? I felt like a dick after that. It was a really good point, and a whole mental shift of like, I mean, I am appreciative to be here today and every day, but when I thought about that, it's like, yeah, that makes it's no different than another day, but the concept was really.
We apparently just got it. We all apparently got all tagged by the fucking.
Ooh.
By it's Flash and Trash is the new one.
By who? By Trolley McTrollerson?
Flash and Trash is the name of the fucking thing.
Oh, also provides. Flash and Trash. What the fuck does that mean?
What did I miss? Birthdays? What?
Being appreciative for Alan's. He was saying something about maybe tomorrow he's going live earlier with that guy.
Yeah. Probably about noon.
And that we're welcome, and then we're talking about it's his mom's birthday and appreciating birthdays.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is like, I just turned 48 not too long ago, and Yeah, it was just another day. I worked all day, like, I mean, but they were like that. But like, my wife made sure to made sure to make it special and shit like that. Like, to me, like, they should be celebrated because, like, in reality, like, I'm 48 years old. I can physically do shit that people can't. Most people can't my age. I'm on no medications, nothing like that. Like, lot of shit to be fucking thankful for. It's like, fuck, It's as you get older, like, especially because we're fitness people. As you get older, the weird thing is, like, all my friends are like you guys, like, younger. Like all the people I associate with on a daily basis, like, friends is like online people, because it's me and this outside my household, it's online people,
Mm-hmm.
But are all younger because, like, in reality, most people my age don't understand me.
They don't train. They're not in it.
The only people, I mean, I know it's like harder getting older and whatnot, but the only people that are really having a hard time getting older are usually people who are overweight, obese, not happy with their body, they're eating crappy. I mean, I'm in my 20s, but I have friends, my later 20s, but I have friends already freaking out about being 30, and they've gained weight, they're eating unhealthy, and they feel like crap. I feel so much better than what I felt like in my teens because I'm no longer overweight.
That's the thing. Like, wait a couple years. That, like, another.
So
weird
what I'm saying though is all my, like, I have friends that are about your age, but they work out, and they look very young. They're working out, they're moving. A lot of people, like my mom, she works out, she eats healthy and whatnot, and her friends same age look 20 years older than her.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing too. Like even like the people you see, like, all the time are people at the gym most of the time, probably.
Exactly.
Like going to the supermarket is fucking scary. Like, I mean, you can go to the supermarket and be like, you'll walk down the middle aisles and just, like, play a game called How Long They Got to Live.
That's a good one.
I fucking hate to be that rude, but, like the fucking diabetes aisles, like the aisles of, like, chips and soda and candy, they're always right in a row. Chips, soda, candy, always right in a row. Yeah. Because, like, people can see highly sugared food, stuff that they know is sweet, and it has a dopamine response in their brain. Like just from seeing it has a slight dopamine response. So then they start grabbing shit. Like, it's fucking science. It really is.
That'd be a good show, man. That'd be a good YouTube channel. Just blur out the faces and stuff. I think I might have a new playlist coming right there. That's a good one.
Shit, dude.
How long? Yeah.
You better have a good lawyer.
Yeah, right. I'll blur it out.
You better have a good lawyer still, motherfucker. For real.
That's
because they're not. I mean, I'm not talking like the lawyer like the fucking troll had for you. But,
Oh God. So tomorrow. What time tomorrow? Just to, like, let everyone know, like, your, like. I'm thinking
somewhere about noon. But I'll talk to you offline about it here in a little bit.
Okay. I mean,
I gotta get a hold of Connor. Find out when he's available. If he can't go, we'll just all go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, it depends on if you can't do it. If you want to just do, like, a regular cast or whatever.
Michelle, if you can get up that early, because noon for me is what?
Oh.
7 for two. It's 9 for you, right? That's 9.
Yeah.
It's not 5 hours. You're up at 3:30 even on fucking Saturday?
Yeah.
You're getting up?
Oh no, tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, no, the gym doesn't open that early, so I won't be up that early.
Oh.
I'll just hop on if I'm awake.
Because I thought I got up early. I'm like, God damn. So,
well, I did it all throughout college, and so it's like my body just wakes up.
Yeah. I get up early, but fuck. So, I got up at 4 today, and I was like, God, I'm up early. Michelle's already calling up.
I'm trying to reset my sleep schedule. I went to sleep late a couple nights, and, like, I try to get up early, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I can't do it anymore. I used to be up late and up early, and I know it's like, oh, you're younger, but I was just really, I blew out. I could really run on fumes for a point, but now it's like I need sleep. Period.
We're adjusting for Florida because it's going to be nicer later and shit like that. So we're adjusting for Florida as we speak.
Are you moving, Alan?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I love Pittsburgh. I grew up here, but I'm not from here anymore. Like I say that all the time. Like, I lived in South Carolina for a long time, so I love the South. I absolutely fucking love it. I think besides the racism, which you find anywhere, down south they're just, like, openly racist. Everybody's racist. I mean, Pittsburgh's horrible with it, but they're much more very, very in your face people. They're like my people. They're much more open. Like they will tell you what's on their mind very, very clearly. I love Florida though. Like Florida's like amazing. I love it. My wife's from Florida, so we're going back down there. And my parents are doing. I moved back to Pittsburgh from South Carolina because my parents were both in kind of ill health, and they're doing great now. And there's like lots of other reasons, like no state tax. When you own 3 corporations, you start thinking about these things. No state tax, and then just the weather is much more conducive. The cold weather, like I've got some decent injuries. I'm missing. You guys, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm like missing a tendon in my fucking finger and shit like that. So, my arthritis is cranking, and I have arthritis in my right shoulder. So the last couple winters have been not great on this old frame. But when I was down in Florida, fucking felt great. And when we moved back up here, I realized I grew up here, but I'm not from here anymore. Everybody, like most of the people that I went to high school with, and if you guys are watching, it's true. Like most of them, like married either the person they were dating in high school or the person their best friend was dating in high school. Like they all still hang out together. It's so fucking weird. Because like they haven't grown as people. Like I've lived all over. I've lived a bunch of places and been around the world and shit like that. And like when I moved back here, I had a beers with one of my buddies who hadn't been out of the county, like Allegheny County, like Pittsburgh, in like 10 years. And I'm like, fucker, like and his idea of vacation was like going to like Deep Creek, Maryland, which is like 2 hours away. That's a small ass fucking world you live in, and it's just not the same. And there's no connection besides my parents. And we're at a stage now where we're probably gonna like fly back up here once every like 4 to 6 weeks anyway, just to see them. And we've got a filming thing set up in their house already or like that too. So we're definitely moving. Like I'm hoping while we're down there in September to actually sign a lease when we're down there.
Nice.
And then we'll have the place where we're just going to spend a couple months moving, and then by New Year's, we'll be living there at like full time.
But you're going west. You're going West Coast, right?
Oh yeah, somewhere between Sarasota and Naples.
So that's nice. I kind of want that because that's South Florida. I'm in South America because I'm on the East Coast, and it's like as busy as it gets, and it's just overpopulated. And the West Coast is still a lot of people, but the weather is as much as there's always something. There's always pros and cons, but the weather is definitely nice. Just to be able to in the winter, I'll wear I'll wear a hoodie, maybe.
And honestly, if you were a Pittsburgher, you probably wouldn't even wear that.
No. I grew up in Connecticut, so like northern Connecticut, so like I know cold, and I'm looking at the temperature. I'm like, why am I freezing? It's 65 degrees, and
you're acclimated,
and I'm freezing now, and I'm looking at that temperature. I'm like, you're such a pussy, man. It's fucking 65 degrees. I used to when it was 50 after the winter, you'd be outside in t-shirt and shorts, like, oh my god, it's 50. It's super nice. Now I'm like, you can't. I'm not leaving the house if it's 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, my temperature has changed when I moved to Arizona. I've never experienced 110. It was 110 degrees all summer, and then I moved. I went to Washington, and 60 degrees was cold for me. And usually I'd just be in a tank top and shorts and 60.
And that's super dry. That's super dry in Arizona. That's just.
Yeah, it's dry, but it's still hot.
It's like an oven. Yeah.
I had my first sunburn ever. I never get sunburned.
Damn. I'll fucking cook you. I'll fucking cook you.
I've only been to Arizona one time, and it was like a fucking boilerplate. It fucking was like baking. Like I like the humidity though too. I like that's why I like. Yeah. It's better for your skin and shit like that too. I enjoy. I loved Florida. My wife and I have been doing this, as a tradition. Have been vacationing down there, like from the day after Christmas until like into the New Year for the last couple of years. And last year we stayed right by Siesta Key. Oh.
That's one of the nicest beaches in the country. It gets like awards for it. They have it they have signs that say #1 rated Florida or the world's #1 beach. It's nice. So awesome. It really is like awesome beach, and then like awesome little town around it. Like you can get great food, live music. Yeah, that little strip that everyone walks down so after. Fucking cool. Yeah, it's a cool spot. And we're staying in Cape Coral this time. So nice. So, all right. So everyone that's watching, we got a potential live cast tomorrow. Alan will talk, and I'll blast it to people. So maybe tomorrow. You don't know if it's with that guy though, right?
I don't know if it's with him, but one way or the other, let's plan on noon.
That's cool. So Michelle, if you're awake or whatever you're doing, that'll be awesome.
Okay.
Do you have any videos that either of you, Michelle, do you want to promote, like anything that you just posted that you want to give send some people over that maybe haven't seen it yet?
You guys can watch the newest video with me and Obese to Beast about the documentary.
I love that video.
By the way, I will
That's
not
so
be
good.
cosplaying.
So good. I love it.
I will not be cosplaying.
Did you see those comments?
Oh my god, I got bombarded.
Was it a joke on your page? Because I kept getting so many comments saying, "Can you make Alan dress up like Pikachu?" And I'm like, out of all the characters, you guys,
how?
I got just like bombarded. Like your video released, and like 30 minutes later, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like it was so fucking crazy. Like I got bombarded. Like, and I get a lot of messages to begin with. Like a lot of messages to begin with. But holy fuck, it was like crazy. Like I was like, my phone's broken. Why is it fucking beeping so much? What the fuck? And then because people are always like trying to get me to they want me to do the Agent 47, the Hitman thing, either that or Kronos, from one video game.
You got a bunch. You got that what's his name? Like the Rock the Stone guy from Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Ben Grimm. I got that.
The other one that you just named him, the guy from Avengers.
Drax.
Drax. Yeah, I got Drax.
That's an easy one, Alan.
Yeah, that's like that. That's a
It's
really.
not happening.
That's a Batista one. That's an easy one. That's a lot of makeup though.
It is not happening. I can guarantee it.
What if the comments were like, if we ask him nicely, he'll do it? I'm like, I don't know.
In what history of what do you think that would work?
Shut the whole fuck up.
Shut the whole fuck up.
But I will say that John is the perfect Spider-Man. He's the perfect Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he's friends with us. He's like the nicest guy ever.
He's so sweet.
My DMs with him are hilarious. My DMs with him are hilarious. I'm like, I tore this shit up. I'll send him something. He was like, oh, that was nice.
Because you know how sometimes people filter themselves for online, but when I met him in real life, nope, he's just a nice guy.
He's like, oh shucks.
He's our shield. Like if we go into like a big like the virtual crowd, like we put him first, and then like he steps aside, and then we'll just like rush through, like
He's the reason that account got shut down. Like I really believe that.
His fans.
Because he shared it on his Instagram, like, oh, this person stopped being so nice to me. his fans were like fucking rabid dogs, man. Like I got don't get me wrong, some of my fans, I got some pretty heavy hitters. Like some of the people that like troll the people that I say shit about are not fucking. I'm like, oh shit, they scare me. But his fans were fucking relentless, man. They like tore that ass up.
That's crazy that he was getting tagged in that shit. Like, when has John ever said anything like to
you know what?
Cruel?
That's one of the reasons. Like I talk about that all the time. That's one of the reasons why. Like I kind of like. I think I even told you guys too. Like, hey, you might like. I gotta give people like the association warning. Like you might not want to be associated with me because A, B, C, D. Like I mean, people tend to like fucking no matter what. But like, how can fucking anybody like he is like the nicest guy. Like that's what people are saying. Like how. Can't believe you brought up John. He's the sweetest person alive, and like that's what like he was the only person where like fat people that like when Tess said something about him, like about his transformation pictures, they were like, you need to shut the fuck up. I love you, but stop it. That was fucking crazy. So, but he's like a super 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 nice guy, and he knows his shit too. Like I mean he knows his shit. He wants to help people. Like I said,
personal experience. Awesome. I mean, talk about like a walking, talking. Poster boy literally for what he says, like literally practices what he preaches and shares his story. That's all he does.
Well, that's what, and like supposedly there's going to be somebody to debate him too. Like, what are they going to say? what are they, like you're fat phobic? No, well, been there. Like
you should go back.
Way more than you. Like, I mean, shit like that. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, he weighs like 380 pounds. Like that's.
He was a big guy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He's changed so much. It's a cool story. I like it. Very cool to talk to him.
No, it's amazing. It's empowering, and it's more evidence that this is possible. Oh, you can do it. You just have to fucking do it. And then
I mean, dude's working on his handstands right now. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like imagine that 308. Like now he works on handstands. Like a few years ago, like it would have tore his fucking shoulders off to try that shit.
Mhm.
You know, like that's what it does for you, though. It gives you a life. It does. It just absolutely does. Like I talk about that even just in general fitness. Like just staying active gives you a life compared to, because I know plenty of dudes my age that are not fat, but they just can't go. Like they can't do like my wife could be like, hey, we're gonna go hiking right now. Like fucking. We get the day pack. Do we need the day packs or the overnights? You know, like, which do we need?
That's what I was talking about with the age thing. Like a lot of people in the what are you, 40 something?
48.
48, almost to 50. Like they aren't doing those kind of things.
Yeah.
Like my dad is about your age, and he is he can barely walk.
That's tough. Well, he was a football player too, right?
Yeah, but there's some other things that
There's
a lot of other things that contributed to.
Well, most professional athletes. Well, first of all, being a professional football player is like one of the least healthy things you can do. I mean, the abuse to your body, both lifting weights, keeping extra weight on, the knees are almost always shot,
getting
and
your head smashed around.
Yeah, the concussions alone, But then what happens is they're used to that shit. Then they retire and then they don't move because they're all banged up.
That's what happened. I noticed like the split difference when he retired. It was like he was hit with a wall because he was eating the same. He was getting older. He was now not moving at all. He was just coaching, and then it went quickly downhill.
And when you're active and like that, that's a whole other level of active. When you're that active your whole life, a lot of people just because you just don't want to work out anymore because you were forced to because you had to, and you're like, I don't feel like training anymore. Like a lot of these like big time athletes, they just stop. Yeah, they just stop. It's like I'm not training. I'm not playing anymore, so I don't want to beat my shit up.
That's why I think like Howie. You know who Howie Long is?
Yeah, he's on what, like the NFL Network now?
Yeah, but he was a linebacker for the Raiders for a long time, and he was a monster. He was one of the first linebackers that weighed like 260 or 270 pounds. Because back then, like now they all do, but back then that was huge for a linebacker. And he said the first they were like he retired without, he didn't get injured or anything like that. He just retired, and they asked him what he was going to do. He's like, the first thing I'm going to do is lose 50 pounds. When they asked him what he was going to do with retirement, that was the first thing he said. It was like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Immediately. Because, I mean, I think now look at him. He's fucking well older than me. He's in like almost 60, probably, and fucking in decent shape, fucking active, shit like that. You can't keep weight on like that, and you can't just sit the fuck down. Like you have to stay in motion. Like you must stay moving, or you end up dying.
It goes back to like, okay, well, if you're still eating, like Michelle, you're saying you're still eating the same way you were when you were utilizing 4,000 calories a day, and then you're not using that energy. I guess that's caloric surplus and caloric deficit. I guess it does matter.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've worked with a lot of just athletes and just talked to a lot of athletes, and usually the ex-athletes are some of the worst because they were so used to being told what to do all the time. They were working out for hours.
They know nothing.
It's their job. And then they all of a sudden stop. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to eat. They don't know how to work out because they were always coached.
And they don't have the team around them, the team mentality.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of them
were
like
exactly what happened to my dad and a lot of his friends.
Well, in college, especially, like in college, they have like team meals. Like they eat with the team. So they're not in charge of their own food. Like, I mean, the concept of how unhealthy it is, like when they tell linemen, like 300-pound linemen, that they need to try to gain weight. I mean, that's just so bad. Like, I mean, you're working out for 4 hours a day. You're 300 pounds, lifting weights, doing all sorts of stuff, and you've got. They're not even just 300 pounds. They're like a huge amount of lean mass too. So that means their metabolism's even higher because muscle more than fat, Yeah. And so the calories they must be eating, the quantity of food. That's how you see these guys. They just eat straight garbage because it's so calorically dense. And then when when they're done, all of a sudden, 400 pounds, like look at the refrigerator, Perry, the old time football player from the Bears. They called him the fridge.
The fridge. Yep.
He retired and got to be like 600 pounds. Like fucking.
I didn't know
damn.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was fucking enormous when he was, when he was in football too. But
I mean, it's all about building that momentum, whether you're trying to lose weight or you get that consistency, you get that inertia, you get that flow. And I think it comes down to community and accountability, having people around you that aren't fucking running their mouths with bullshit. Like if you surround yourself with people that exercise, that want the best for you, that are inspiring you to be, that's why Michelle, your community, Alan, yours, mine, if you create that online culture of negativity or fat acceptance and you're fine the way you are, you don't have to lose weight, and this kind of indoctrination of lack of change, in the face of all these facts, it's about who you surround yourself with. What messages are you listening to? And we allow all these different things come on our phone and just kind of pop in our face and, oh, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. People don't filter their shit. They follow too many people. They read too much shit, and everyone's getting inundated with information. Oh, there's too much information. I mean, if you're following every fucking thing and watching every news outlet and on Twitter all fucking day, and you're watching all these things and consuming all of it, of course you're gonna be confused. You're listening to 1,000 different fucking things. Someone was telling me something. Oh, you should watch this video. I'm like, I don't need that in my head. I just don't have enough space. I don't have enough space for my own thoughts if I'm just like watching all this shit. So I barely watch videos and movies. I just don't have mental capacity anymore. There's too much out there.
Yeah, there is a lot of shit.
I can't watch all these shows and shit. It's
well, that and people don't understand, necessarily understand our lives. I recently had a guy send me, he sent me a couple messages asking about something. And I responded to a couple of times. I really do try to get to as many messages as possible that are applicable, And I'm like, and this was last night where the guy posted I just asked you a question, you didn't answer me. Dude, the fuck, 100 and some
That's
clients.
That's one thing that will trigger me if people message me and then expect me to get to them immediately, or they get upset that I never got to their message when they're not I don't owe them anything.
He posted on my Facebook page, I asked you a question, you never responded. I responded to you 4 fucking times. I didn't get to the last one. Fuck off. You want to know what know what a hip dip is? I don't give a. How do you not want to know what a fucking hip dip is? If you don't fucking look it up, there's a fucking 1,000 videos on fucking YouTube.
I try to get to the requests. I try to get the request to the new messages. If it's someone responding or just kind of hitting the celebration thing from the story, it's you don't have to respond to each one. But when someone has a question, you respond. But then they're going to respond, and then as you get hundreds of requests and all these different things, I can't continue conversations with each person. I don't think no one can. But you try to get to as many as you can, and I was always priding myself on answering every single comment, everywhere, every message, and then it just got to the point where you hit that breaking point where you literally can't.
Yeah,
you just have to.
I was spending way too much time on my phone answering,
Well, most people don't understand how many messages you would get, Michelle. People don't understand. Okay, 120, 30,000 followers. You have a community of 200, 300 plus people. It's 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Even if 1% message you, it's okay, that's 300 a day, or and then you respond to 1 or 10 or 20, and then 20 respond back, and then you get another 300. It's it's impossible.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I try to
get to the top ones, and then I leave it at that because it gets way too much for me.
Well, we prioritize. We have to.
Yeah.
We have clients that are just ours. The hardest cases we take for just us. And then we have assistant coaches that help us, but we're still involved on a daily basis with those people too. So we touch at some point in time we check out every message from every client every day, and there's 140 or 150 of them right now.
Yeah.
So
of course, but you have to contact
the client.
Yeah. Right. So clients are first, and then I try to do Instagram and blah blah blah. So people need to don't get a lot of times people see people especially I think you guys, because you guys edit your videos a little bit more than I do, where they think that's all you do. That's so fucking crazy. It's just insane. I swear, and this is no shit, if we get to the point our next phase is when we add more coaches on and we have more clients, we're going to have somebody who answers emails and shit like that. And I hate to fucking do that. Our son works for us, and that'll partly become his job too. But it's when you have hundreds of messages in a day, you have to prioritize and then still remain sane. Because as fully self-employed people, our schedules are from when we wake up to when we go to sleep, and that's, people don't grasp that. And the sense of never done this. I have yet to have in the last year a day where I felt like I got to everything. My to-do list right over here is still I do the ABCs. You guys know what the ABCs are?
Always be closing.
Absolutely needs done today before the end of the week, and can wait till next week.
No, when I think of ABC, I think of Glengarry, Glenn Ross. Always be closing the Alec Baldwin speech.
No, but it's ABC for to do absolutely done today before the end of the week, and then can't wait till next week.
Right.
The A's are very big, always, and normally I don't get to all the A's, so they just become B's. So they become A's the next day, and then or an A plus, or I don't know, but crazy shit.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that I had to come to grips with, because when I answered, and I would do that, I would stay up till 4 a.m. and I would, you do everything you've done for today, but then I start to realize, I'm going to have literally the same amount of lists tomorrow, and that's going to be the same on Saturday and Sunday. That's never going to change. So what has to change is my approach to it and my ability to be like, you know what, I can do this tomorrow. No one's going to be like, he didn't post at 4 p.m. today like he normally does.
Yeah.
No one's going to be pissed and DMing me, because everyone, when you realize, or I realized, and it's a strange realization for a lot of people, but because I don't follow many people, so I don't get stuff in my feed. And I realize, everyone's following thousands of people, and they're not seeing whether I post or not. And it's like,
right.
It's a grab for attention, and you're trying to get your message out, but at the same time, you have to pace yourself so you don't burn out. And that's what I have to focus on, self-care. And that's what I've been focusing on recently. And I've been talking about that on my podcast, that now I've upped my yoga game. I'm prioritizing my own personal training over doing some things. I'll work out before the podcast, no matter what. I'm getting mine in. I don't know. It's hard to sometimes unplug or to back off a little bit. But when you're the one that's making the videos, when you're the one that has to be on, you're the one that has to be positive, and, you're the business, essentially. I mean, Alan, you got people, working for you, and you got people underneath. It's just, but still, it's you. It's still you. You're the one that, you're the buck stops here,
Well, and in reality is we still deal with all the clients every day. We plan on it when it's get 500 on clients. Because we hope to be helping as many people as possible. For real. We hope to be helping. I would love to build a tiered system some way to have 1,000 whatever people trying to get healthy. That would make me very happy, because it's desperate right now. Desperate. But the thing is, we always try to make sure the last couple growth spurts we've taken, we really weren't ready for. So now it's okay, let's get shit straight. I was talking about website shit, which we still got to talk about, because goddamn, my wife and I have 2 separate websites. That does not fucking work anymore at all, because people buy shit over here, we cross promote. Just let's get one fucking website, one fucking website, because her business is taking off too, where it's she does live classes and shit like that, but also we've been doing live prep cooking and shit like that to help our clients and people that have our service to learn how to fucking cook, shit like that, anything we can do to help out. So, but we desperately need to fucking organize. So, but hey guys, I do need to run.
Let's so what I'll do is I will we'll talk, and then I'll broadcast whatever time is happening tomorrow. I guess we'll plan for around noon, and then Michelle, love to have you to join in. I mean, as always, and I'm sure
if I'm around, I'll definitely try to join in.
Yeah, we'll hammer out this more, and I'm sure we'll do it again. But so Michelle, you got your new video, the Peter Parker video. If you haven't checked her out, my thoughts will probably offend you, right here on YouTube. And of course, Alan over at Every Damn Day Fitness. What your latest video was about Boogie. That was Boogie. The most recent one. So if you haven't checked it out, go check that out. And we'll see you all, I guess, on your channel tomorrow, right? That's the plan?
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, fam. We'll see everyone tomorrow. And both of you, Alan, you can stay on the line for a second after?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Definitely. So I'll outro this, and everyone, thanks for watching. Peace out, fam.